So goes to the hill on July 4th. It's Independence Day, and the Mets and Yankees get ready to go at it one more time.
The action in Espanol. And as I mentioned, an absolutely gorgeous afternoon. The temperature is 79 degrees. And the rest of the story, humidity 54%. Partly cloudy, but you take it. If you're outside, it is just an absolutely gorgeous day here in the New York area as you look at the umpires in this afternoon's game. C.B. Buckner behind the plate, Eric Cooper down at first base, out at second base Mike Riley, and Chuck Merriweather over at third base. Yankees-Mets, Jay So on the mound. And Jay So will take on that lineup right there. You see in the middle lineup, Gary Sheffield has the hardest swing in the American League and makes consistent contact. And he has some terrific numbers against the Mets. And growing up, he wanted to be a Met because Doc Gooden was pitching for the Mets and the pitcher in today's game for the Mets, Keith.
Well, Jay So gets his 13th start in 15 appearances, and you can see his numbers there. Jay's had a tough time getting through 6 innings this year. But a gutty guy, you know, fastball, changeup, and looking to get the win here, and a sweep for the Mets before they go on the road to Philadelphia for 4. And the defense for the Mets sets up. We have Ty Wigginton moved to second base. Jose Reyes has got a little tenderness in his hamstring. Piazza at first. Matsui, Zeal, Phillips, the outfield is Floyd, Spencer, Hidalgo, and that's brought to you by New York Lotto.
Well, you listen to this crowd, and you think that the Subway Series is losing some of its zest? No way. Bernie Williams leads it off. The Mets going for the sweep. The Yankees trying to put on the brakes. Everybody has fastened their seat belt here at Shea. It was a wild ball game yesterday. The pregame show, you saw Kaz Matsui as we replayed the winning run. He scored it. First pitch of the ball game is a strike.
Well, Jay So 13 and 17 lifetime. Left-handers hitting .255 off him with only 3 home runs.
And Bernie Williams hooks a ball into center field. So the Yankees have a base runner here in the top of the first.
We know that Jay So is not overpowering pitcher, has to spot his fastballs as Derek Jeter steps to the plate. You can see those. The batting averaging up over 100 points, well over 100 points from that terrible start he got off to. Of course, the stitches on his chin and the black eye.
And a Met reaction for Derek Jeter here in the first inning. Look at the way they defend against Jeter. As you mentioned, Keith, he got off to a terrible start, but he has been hammering in the last 31 games. Fouls the ball off down the right field line. Interesting swing.
Well, he's short and compact, Fran, and you think you can jam him, and he does like to go the other way. There's a ball in the inner half of the plate, and he's trying to go the other way. Actually, it's on the outer half. A little tardy on it, but he likes to go the other way, and you think you can go inside and get him, and you have to pitch him inside, but you know, he turns he got such great bat speed, and he stays level.
And Bernie Williams would lead off first base, and the ball's down low to Derek Jeter, who, by the way, when he was coming out of high school, he was going to be the #1 draft in the country by the Houston Astros. Hal Newhouser was a scout who was friends with the Jeter family in Michigan. He got a call just before the draft, and he was told by Bob Watson, we're not going to draft a shortstop. We want a third baseman. They drafted Phil Nevin instead, and the Yankees were able to draft Jeter, and Hal Newhouser resigned as a scout for Houston Astros right after that happened.
That's a great story, Fran.
Imagine Jeter if he was not a Yankee, playing in Houston.
I would think when you're drafting someone out of high school or college, you're looking not for down the road what you can replace. You don't know what you can replace in 4 years.
And as Keith mentioned, Jeter goes the other way. Ball's caught by Hidalgo. Bernie Williams hustles back to first base. 1 down.
Well, the Mets were set up defensively, shading Jeter to right here. Ball gets in on him a little bit, it's a soft liner to right. And as we said at the top of the show, not only has Hidalgo been a wonderful offensive addition to this ball club, he is terrific in the outfield.
What a trade so far for the Mets, and they have a terrific upside on that trade if Hidalgo stays healthy, because he has been hammering. So is this guy, Gary Sheffield.
Well, he's one of the best hitters in the game. There's no question about that. And another level swinger. But boy, he does not get cheated.
He takes a strike. And Keith, Ty Wigginton told me he's the most difficult guy as you look at his career numbers against Jay So. He's the most difficult guy for a third baseman to pick up the ball off his bat because of that movement with his bat. One ball and one strike on Sheffield.
Well, with Bernie Williams now much older, latter part of his career, he's not so much of a base stealing threat anymore. As a matter of fact, he hasn't got a stolen base this year.
Way inside on Sheffield. 2-1. You know, for a guy who just got over or is still nursing the sore shoulder, he still doesn't get cheated at the plate.
Well, he had some swings this entire series. He's red hot. He had a great June. He had 360 with 8 home runs in June.
There goes Williams, the club. He's out of there. How about Phillips on the money, and then he called him out behind the plate.
Well, everybody's pumped up here, Fran. You take this one. You're the catcher.
Watch this. Phillips throws the second. Perfect throw. Williams is out by a country mile. Another shot. And wait till you see. I don't know. Watch this. Yes, he got him. How many times do you see a catcher do that?
Well, this is a special series here, and you know there's another base up the middle. And Sheffield on a pretty good pitch right there. And that's I believe, either a changeup or a breaking ball. We'll look at it again, of course. But that's on the outside part of the plate. Look at him stay in. Shoulder, front shoulder. That's the stolen base, excuse me. That's just a great throw by Phillips right there, and Bernie Williams out by a mile.
So if he steals second, obviously he scores. So big throw by Jason Phillips to cut down Bernie Williams. Now the Yankees have Gary Sheffield on first, and A-Rod the batter.
Well, A-Rod's been the one guy that they've been getting out in this series. Good.
I think it's a great story. He grew up, and he told me this in an interview last year in Texas. He grew up idolizing Keith Hernandez. We look at that again. Have you ever talked to him about that, Keith?
Yes, I asked him, are you a glutton for punishment? Alex is a great guy. Alex only 3 for 20, and the 3 hits are just singles in the 5 games this season against the Mets.
And he takes a strike, so it's 0-2.
So Jay So comes back with a fastball on the inside part of the plate. He wanted to get it inside corner. They got it on the inside corner. Good pitch.
He needs his control. You see that waist pitch? You see Phillips put the glove up high.
It's hard for So to be an up and down the ladder pitcher because he doesn't have the great breaking ball. He's basically the fans there. They're all fired up.
Jay So fans representing Korea here at the ballpark. He got him. A-Rod goes down. He's frustrated. He's going to have a conversation. Well, the Yankees strand the runner. They fail to score as A-Rod is caught looking. Back here at Shea Stadium, and Jorge Posada just eliminated those lines around home plate, Keith.
Yes, he did, and I wonder if it's regard. You can see the little sketchy marks there on both sides of the plate. I wonder if it's an insult to the umpires about the call. Moaned. Oh, there he is right there. That's fine what he's doing there. Nah, it's okay.
You know,
an umpire could take that the wrong way. Like you're showing the black. Here's the corners, you bums.
That's right. Especially after yesterday afternoon, as we look at the Mets starting lineup. Shane Spencer, 6 RBIs in his last 3 games. The man in front of him, Richard Hidalgo, has been on fire. So that's the Mets starting lineup against Javier Vazquez. And Kaz Matsui's been as hot as anybody.
Well, Matsui had the big game yesterday. And there's Vazquez, the starting pitcher. You see his 17th start here, 9-5, 3.42. He's a fine pitcher. Gets a little hurt with the long ball. Not a ground ball pitcher.
Those are our Rico numbers concerning one of the aces on the Yankee staff.
And getting back to Matsui, of course, a big part of that victory yesterday. You see his average of 259, but what you don't see is he's got 50 runs scored now. The 3-for-4 day, 4 runs scored yesterday. That's what the Mets need out of Taz Matsui.
Starting to get his hands through the hitting zone quick. He takes outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Also, with the other Matsui in the game once again, personal competition. Look at that, scored 50th run in Mets 79th game yesterday. He takes up high, so 3-1 on Taz Matsui.
That mark at 50 runs in the first 79 games sets a new Met rookie record for runs scored in the earliest amount of time through 79 games. We're almost at the halfway point now. Really, we're 2 games away.
That All-Star game is next week. Mike Piazza will be the catcher in the All-Star game. The question is, who will be the starting pitcher? The starting pitcher has a real good shot of being Roger Clemens. You know, Jack McKeon, the manager, is a showman, and he knows in Houston, Clemens would be a big hit. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. You wonder if any other Mets have an opportunity to make the ball club. One guy that would come to mind would be Southpaw Tom Glavine.
Tom Glavine, to me, has got to go to the All-Star game.
He deserves it.
Looper has a shot to go. Braden Looper's been fantastic.
It'll be announced later on today on national TV. So that'll be around, I don't know if it's 6 or 8 o'clock tonight. 7 o'clock, I'm told, by our producer Mike Santini. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Base run. And a man, as we showed in the graphic, who can score a run. Taz Matsui.
Well, the Yankee defense in the field is pretty much the same. Clark had that terrific day yesterday. He's back on the lineup. Absolutely a 4-for-5 day with 2 home runs. Cairo, Jeter, and Rodriguez round out the infield. Posada behind the plate. The outfield is Matsui, Williams, and of course Sheffield.
But Tony Clark is 38th start at first base. 6'7" first baseman, and a terrific day yesterday. 2 home runs. And when he was here with the Mets, I mean, everybody in the clubhouse loved him. He had 16 home runs, but unfortunately, they couldn't sign him. He's now a member of the Yankees, and he's been powdering that ball. Todd Zeile takes the ball.
Kind of like faking a bunt there. I think that was pretty much just to kind of distract, give Taz Matsui a chance to steal. Todd Zeile, of course, we know is a good hit and run guy, goes the other way naturally. There's so many things that Art Howe can do with Todd Zeile hitting in the second position.
And they check Matsui at first.
There's only been 4 steal attempts off Vazquez this season, and those 4 base runners have been thrown out.
And Posada can throw.
Yes, he can.
Strong arm. He was a second baseman when he broke into professional baseball. Because of his throwing arm, they made him a catcher. He's a real good receiver, and he's a good hitter. Rick Peterson.
Imparting knowledge to Gitter, and who do they have behind? I can't make him out. I think it's Al Leiter. Yeah, it's Leiter.
Rick Peterson's done a wonderful job with this New York Met pitching staff. They love him.
That's where you learn with conversation. You talk the game over. And you know, Todd Zeile is such a patient hitter too. Here taking for Matsui. Now it's 1-1. He'll go to hitting. Now I wouldn't be surprised here if Art Howe goes on the offensive here and puts a hit and run off. He gets a favorable count, 2-1, 3-1, just to get things moving, get the Mets out on top. Try to put the hammer quick. Put the hammer down.
Be aggressive. Zeile takes outside, so it's 2-1 on the Met third baseman. Zeile playing third today. By the way, Jose Reyes out of the lineup. He has a tender hamstring.
I expected that.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I was surprised at is you could work with somebody to change their running habit or their running method when they're 20 years old. Matsui with a big lead. Quote foul into this huge crowd. How about that?
Well, we see that so often today, and I think a lot of it is that It's the different wood they use now, and you can see this get. Let's see how far jammed he is at the sever the bat. Oh, it's off the end. That can happen. He was too quick.
It's our Panasonic digital replay. Also, Keith, do you think more and more guys go with thin handle bats? I mean, real thin handle.
Well, you don't see a lot of thick handles anymore. I never liked the thick handle. I remember the old Nellie Fox model when we were kids. It had no knob, and it had that almost the handle was almost as big as the barrel.
That's right. That's right. They're the bat. That's the bat rack, and that's changed over the years. We used to have 1 or 2 in there. Now you can have 10 bats each in that bat rack. You have your gamer, and then you have your just in case it breaks bat. 2-2 on Zeal. They check Matsui.
Well, I'd be surprised if Kaz would go 2-2. We're one pitch. We're one. You can see the skinny handles, and I always like to handle that thin too. That is not really. Those are skinny handles, but they're not like the. Remember the M159 was that Musial model that had a real skinny handle.
Inside, so it's 3-2 on Zeal. And with those bats, when you have a real thin handle, you have very little room for error. You're going to get in the barrel of that bat.
Well, they'll be running this runner now. Matsui will be, I'm sure, given the green light. You avoid the double play here. An extra base hit's an automatic run scored. It's the one thing Vazquez didn't want to do was run 3-2 here.
Joe Torre looking on. There goes Matsui. How about this? Base hit. Matsui on his way to third. And the Mets come out swinging it out. Todd Zeal, an outstanding situational hitter, Keith.
Well, we're talking about how Todd can go the other way, and he is clearly trying to go that way. Look at his head down. He knows the hole's going to be vacated with the runner running. And you see second baseman covering there, McCairo. That's a big hole right there, and that is just great situational hitting. Sets it up for your 3, 4, and 5 hitters now.
And you got Zeal at first. Matsui at third. The big guy, Mike Piazza, the man you want up right now. Piazza, 39 RBIs, 16 home runs, batting over 300. On his way to the All-Star game in Houston, Texas. He fouls the first pitch off. Good fastball right there.
Well, he likes to throw that fastball running up. And when the problem he gets hurt is a lot like Sid Fernandez. When Sid got the ball down to the waist, that's when he can get hurt with the long ball. But he gets up in the letters, it has a little rise to it.
So it's 0-1 on Mike Piazza. He's got 17 doubles.
And surprisingly, this is the Mets have won both games, and Mike, they pitched Mike tough. So
he drives this one left center field. Matsui makes the grab, and Matsui scores easily. Kaz Matsui, that is. So Hideki Matsui makes the grab in left. Kaz Matsui scores, and they're jumping in Tokyo. He's half the people.
Well, they got a breaking ball here. Gets the ball up and in the air. Sacrifice fly. And this is basically a no-brainer for the base runners here. Easy for Matsui. He can walk home.
And the Mets responding to Mike Piazza's sacrifice fly. So Todd Zeal still at first base. 1 run across. We're in the bottom of the first. The Mets have the lead, and the batter will be Cliff Floyd. Mile-per-hour heater inside.
Well, you are flirting with fire if you throw Floyd out over the plate. He is big, strong guy, long arms, and he extends those arms. He's murderous, particularly down in the strike zone. You've got to pitch him tight.
So it's 1-0 on Floyd. 1 out. So Vazquez falls behind 2-0.
Now here's let's watch the pitch. Boy, oh boy, that's close. Here, this view won't lie. That's a strike.
So 2 balls, no strikes. Zeal on first base. Richard Hidalgo waits on deck. Floyd got the 2-0 pitch he wanted and fouled it off. There's a man who's been red hot. Coming over in a trade from the Houston Astros. He was in a slump in Houston.
You know, a lot of that short left field porch there Minute Maid Park was, I think, a lot to do with it. And you know, Don Baylor has been working with him going the opposite way, up the middle.
Count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, and how ironic it is that he's in a ballpark here, and here's a changeup down out of the strike zone. Hidalgo, coming from a bandbox in a slump, comes here to Shea, tell him to go up the middle. He's got 6 home runs in 14 games in a big ballpark.
He also, I think, got into Jimmy Williams' doghouse. Jimmy Williams, the manager of the Houston Astros. And it helped Jim Duquette and the Mets pull off that trade. Floyd goes down swinging as Vazquez pulls the string. 2 out.
Well, these are how they like to pitch Floyd, is start him off inside and tight and get him thinking about it inside. Then he tends to always fish for the changeup sinking away down in the dirt. Floyd, don't make a mistake.
And they got Floyd, the batter now, Richard Hidalgo. As Keith mentioned, he's on fire. 10 home runs now. 41 RBIs. Just a few years ago, he had 44 home runs.
Well, nothing would please the Mets more than to have him come close to those numbers again. And like we said at the top of the show, that the Mets, we knew, needed another bat in the lineup and a bat in the outfield. And now with Floyd, Cameron, and Hidalgo, the outfield's set.
And that was kind of a surprise trade that Jim Duquette pulled off. And it's really paid off. Inside 2-0.
Well, here's the home run yesterday. Hidalgo here, just a rocket. He didn't know it was out first, and that thing went into the seats there pretty far back. He's a strong kid. And like I said, not a liability in the field. He's a positive in the field.
Here's the 2-0 pitch.
Oh, good change.
Hidalgo said, I'm swinging at this wherever it is.
That's a pitcher's pitch right there. Change up, knees high, outside corner. It's hard to see how he throws that. Looks like he got 3 fingers on it. That's an excellent changeup.
Vazquez still behind on the count. Zeal on first. Hits him. So Vazquez hits Hidalgo. Hopefully he's not hurt. I mean, out for a while. Where'd that ball hit him? Uh-oh. You hope when you get hit with a pitch, it gets muscle, not bone. When it gets bone, it can break.
Well, here's the pitch again. We're going to take a peek. They got him in the side. He'll be all right. That ball does bite, but
probably get the wind out.
It eventually goes away.
It's funny how Keith can talk about it up here. I know. 90 miles per hour, and Keith says, he'll be all right. And he is. Listen to this now.
That hit ribs.
Hidalgo's all right. Runners on first and second. And the bat will be Shane Spencer. How about the day he had yesterday, Keith?
He had a great day. 3 RBIs. Of course, the game-winning RBI. He'll take him any way he can get him, and the Mets certainly will take him any way they can get him. A little bleeder in front of the mound.
Playing against a bunch of his old teammates.
But he got a big RBI double. Got the Mets back in the game earlier. And here's the dribbler yesterday that won the ball game. A tough pitch, changeup. Let go with one hand. If it was a left-hand pitcher, it would have been an out. Fortunately for the Mets, it was a right-hand pitcher. He had the backhand. It was Tanyan Sturtz, and he suffered a loss. A huge, huge win for New York Mets.
Well, the karma continued today. The Mets have won the first 2 here at Shea as Spencer takes a strike.
Isn't it amazing how you can make a move? The team is struggling hitting most of the year. Make a move, you get Reyes back, even though he's not hitting. It's still a psychological lift.
Oh, I agree.
Then you get a guy like Hidalgo, and all of a sudden they're scoring runs like cats and dogs.
Here it is now. Spencer fouls off the breaking ball, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And you can see Spencer's last 3 games here. Red hot, 4 for 11, home run, 2 doubles, and his 6 RBIs is where it's at. So 3 of the 4 hits have been extra base hits. So that's one heck of a slugging percentage right there also.
Zeal on second, Hidalgo on first. Shea Stadium is rocking as Don Baylor looks on. Up high. Count evens up. Spencer with 20 RBIs this year.
You must say that Art Howe has done a terrific job with this ball club in the beginning of the year with all the injuries. To have this club in this position, 2 games behind before the All-Star break, he's done a heck of a job.
Really has, and he's been forced to play guys out of position. And they've all stepped up. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Full count on Spencer. Joe Torre from Brooklyn, New York. Played some sandlot ball against the third base coach at the Mets, Beck Galante. The guy who was an outstanding major league player who played around that time in Brooklyn, Rico Petrocelli. Vazquez gets the sign. Big pitch, full count. Spencer hits a fly ball foul down the right field line and out of play. Jose Reyes looking on. If you just tuned in, Jose Reyes is not playing. Has a sensitive hamstring today.
Well, it's a day game. It's a good day to give him a day off, get it massaged, get in the whirlpool, sit and watch. He's been struggling a little at the plate.
You don't want
and they got a night game tomorrow. It's perfect.
Hey, by the way, let's not forget the Mets and the Phillies. 4 games coming up down in Philadelphia. Spencer fouls it back. So right out of this series, the Mets will go down to Philly after the game tonight in 4 big games and then playing the Marlins. In their division, they kept Tom Glavine out of the Yankees series because of the Phillies and the Marlins, and also Al Leiter.
And they're on a verge of a potential sweep.
Well, they got a 1-0 lead here in the first inning. Excellent pitch by Vazquez. A pitcher's pitch to get Shane Spencer. Mets 3-2, but in the first they score 1. It's 1-0 Mets as they go to the top of the second. A trip for 2 to the 2004 All-Star game and a 53-inch HD TV. Stay tuned to today's game on MSG Network. We'll give you a special clue to write in on the entry form. It's in the Daily News today. There it is right there, and you can win a trip to the 2004 All-Star game and a 53-inch HD TV. So there it is in the Daily News today. Right now you got Hideki Matsui at the plate. He takes outside, ball 1. By the way, Jay So had first strikes on all 4 batters in the first inning. And he missed on the first pitch to Matsui, and he misses again. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. Jorge Posada, one of the better hitting catchers in the game today, on deck. How about that 2-0 change?
And a good spot to hit. It was out over the plate. But your sitting fastball, it's not. He got a little out in front. He recognized that he wasn't in a position to hit. So take it.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that good target that Jason Phillips gives all the time. 3-1. So they're going to go after Matsui. Maybe now with the fastball. Threw a 2-0 change. He went after him with the heater. He misses, so he walks Matsui. And the Yankees have a base runner to lead off the second inning.
That's 2 innings in a row now. That both innings the Yankees have gotten a leadoff runner on. And up the plate is Jorge Posada, who's called out on a close pitch. And I thought that pitch was too close to take.
It was close. It was a close pitch from John Franco. And John Franco went off that field like he was 20 years old again. So Shea Stadium, Friday and Saturday, it's been rocking all weekend long. They so getting up high with that fastball again.
Well, here's the big strikeout right here with the bases loaded. And if anything was questionable there, it was low. It's over the plate. It's just a matter if it's low. And that's a borderline strike. It's too close to take. Ted Williams would get that call.
That's a good point. Hey, by the way, leadoff walks, we are told, score 66% of the times. It happened in the first inning for the Mets. We'll see what happens here as Matsui walked the lead off this inning. Posada pops it up. Down the left field line. Everybody in pursuit. And Floyd makes the grab. So Clint Floyd ran a long way for that ball and caught it in foul territory.
Well, you worry about this. It's right between the three fielders, and it's a high sky today. But Cliff has it under control. And Posada has his hitting woes continue. He's been slumping at a .210 month of June after that hot start he had. And here's the man of the hour for the Yankees yesterday. My goodness. You got to make him bat right-handed, turn him around if the game's on the line.
Tony Clark, 2 dingers in yesterday's game, and he swings the changeup. Strike one. When Tony Clark was a youngster, his sport was tennis. Every morning about 7 o'clock in the morning in San Diego, his dad would take him out and hit a bucket of tennis balls. And then he had trouble with his legs. And of course gravitated to baseball and basketball, and came out of San Diego as one of the greatest high school athletes ever to come out of that area. He broke Walton's scoring record in basketball, over 1,300 points in one season. Up high. Bill Walton, that is. It's now 2-1 on the big first baseman.
So having a little tough time right now settling in with his fastball. You can see him motion with his hands down. He's up in the strike zone. He's telling himself, get the ball down.
You saw Miguel Cairo on deck. So it's right now Jay So against Tony Clark. Change up. First base. Piazza to second for 1. Back to first. Got him! A 3-6-3 double play when the Mets needed it. So Jay So with high fives as you'll watch it again. They go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Mets. Jason Phillips leads it off for the Mets here in the bottom of the second inning. He'll be followed by Ty Wigginton, and he takes.
We're talking about, excuse me, Fran, getting the ball down, the change up, sinking away. Look at Piazza here. In perfect position to field the ball, gets his body in front right over the top throw, and then gets back to first base. Perfect. Excellent play. So I know a lot of first basemen, when they're that close to the bag, would still let the pitcher take the throw. You keep the pitcher out of that play as much as you can. It's much easier for the first baseman to make that play than it is for the pitcher to be running.
And the Mets did it. 3-6-3 as Jason Phillips takes outside, so it's 3-0 now.
And here it is again. Mike blocks the ball, gets his body. But look at the over the top. He threw it like a catcher, Fran, because the runner was in his way, and it just sets up the perfect double play. Nicely done.
I think the tough thing is when runners going towards Kaz Matsui, because he's so short, runner being taller, it'd be tough to turn it. But they did as Phillips takes the first strike. So it's 3-1 on Jason Phillips, who's batting .210. And Mike Piazza playing first base today. He will be doing the catching in Houston in the All-Star game. The question is, will the starting pitcher be Roger Clemens? And I'll bet he will. 3-2 now on Phillips.
Well, Phillips is struggling. He had a 188 June. He's been kind of around 205, 210, 212. It's been a struggle this year for him after that terrific second half he had last year when he got called up. 1 for 13 lifetime against Javier Vazquez.
Full count on Phillips. That's with the lead. Ball 4. So a walk to Jason Phillips. We gave you that stat before about the first batter walking 66% of the time. He scores. It didn't work for the Yankees. It's worked for the Mets in this game.
Well, so far it's 1 for 3. So it's below the percentage. Yankees have failed twice. Contreras right there couldn't hold the lead the other day. It just seems to me he's got great stuff, but you just make a fat pitch at the wrong time. Where's that pitch?
So Wigginton takes a ball. He's batting .266. He's got 8 home runs, 32 RBIs.
Got a big home run yesterday in the 4th. 2-run homer. The Mets came back 3 times from 2-run deficits. What a victory for the Mets.
playing second base this afternoon. And he takes a strike.
Well, here it is right here. Ty's 4th inning 2-run shot to left center field, excuse me. And that ball's halfway up into the bleachers. He crushed it on a pitch out over the plate and up. Not a good pitch by Contreras.
Two balls and 1 strike on Ty Wigginton. Kaz Matsui. Hopefully visualizing.
Calling on your inner self.
Did we ever meet our inner self? That's a problem if we do. Swung on and missed, so it's even up on Wigginton.
Well, high fastball right here. There you go. Letter high strike, and that's the pitch that Vazquez, that's where he wants to throw his fastball. Started out letters and let it rise up. Wigginton swung under it.
Vazquez shaking off Posada. They said at one time Jorge Posada didn't like being shaken off. Here's a drive, right center field, way back, out of here. How about that, Ty Wigginton? Ty Wigginton bringing the crowd to their feet here at Shea Stadium. And this place is rocking.
Looks like a little bit of a jet stream. The flags are blowing out the right center field. He hit this ball times. His 2nd home run in 2 days. And Mets now as a team have 7 home runs, and we're not through with the 15th ball game.
Jay puts it in play to Jeter. Over to Clark. 1 down, but the Mets have a 3-zip lead here in the 2nd inning.
Well, here's the pitch. Oh, gosh. Fastball down the middle. And looked like Ty up, and Ty was going that way. That was a ball he could have pulled or gone the other way, and he drove that. And that gives the Mets now a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd.
How about 9 home runs for Wigginton? I mentioned earlier how he looked good at 3rd base. He's doing a nice job at 2nd base. So Ty Wigginton with 9 home runs, and the batter Kaz Matsui. So the Yankees trailing 3-zip here in the 2nd inning. Matsui takes down low.
Well, you know, I felt the first game of the series, Fran, when you had the you can see Wigginton right there going right to Baylor. You think they don't respect his opinion? He's got the stats to back it up. But I think they're getting back to my point is that catching the Yankees off the Boston sweep and that particularly long game, extra inning game that the Yankees won, on the first game only, it was a letdown game for the Yankees, and I was kind of concerned how the 2nd game would turn out, and for the Mets to come back the way they have, if they can take this one today, boy, what a momentum boost this would be.
Space hit left field. So Kaz Matsui just throwing ahead of the bat out there and picking up a bullet in the left field.
Well, this was a pitch that if he's stepping in the bucket and running to first base too quick, he can't hit. He stays level, and it's not a slap. That is just a level swing and just ripped in the hole. Hit it where it's pitched, and be curious to see if he tries to make something happen here. If Art Howell it puts a hit and run on, or if Matsui is going to steal. Go for it. Put the hammer down.
It's 3-0 now. The Mets on top of the Yankees, and Todd seals the battle. Matsui can run. The Mets have a lead. Seal gives him a pitch to run. As Matsui has the green light, he runs on his own.
Matsui 9 stolen bases on the year. Oh, excuse me, 11.
Zeal had a base hit his first time up, hitting behind Matsui, who was on the move. Zeal placed the ball perfectly into right field. So far, Vazquez has thrown 49 pitches, 25 strikes, and 24 balls. Down low to Zeal.
Well, we're talking about Fran. We're talking about hit and run counts. We all know 2-1 is a favorable count for hit and run. McElhanty flashing signs. Let's see the way Art Howe opts to play this. And there's the 50th pitch for Vazquez, and he's not out of the second inning.
See if Matsui's on the move. He holds his ground, and Zeal holds his swing. So it's now 3-1. So you put Matsui on the move.
Absolutely. Todd Field doesn't strike out. He's not going to swing at a bad pitch. He's a veteran hitter. He'll take a ball four if it's not a strike. He knows the runner's running. He gets a pitch to hit. Look for him to try to go the opposite field again.
Matsui with the lead. Checking out Vazquez. He holds his ground, and Zeal hits a high fly ball in center field. Bernie Williams under it, and he makes the grab. 2 down. So a 2 down. Mike Piazza will be the batter. Mike Piazza, his first at bat, flied out. It was a sacrifice fly driving in Kaz Matsui, who had walked to lead off the game, or lead off the inning for the Mets. So Piazza, who will be catching in the All-Star game next week, is the batter. He hits the ball toward the end of the bat and into foul territory.
It's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball in the inner half of the plate or inside corner, and looked like beating Mike a little bit inside. Mike looked like he had his approach to that particular pitch was to go the other way. Here's something he does so well.
Man of the hour right there, Ty Wigginton, Pete.
Well, second home run in 2 games. Big 2-run homer yesterday in the 4th that got the Mets back in the ball game, and a 2-run home run here in the 2nd that gives the Mets a 3-run bulge.
So it's 0-1 on Piazza. 0-2.
Oh, nice changeup.
Hope you're enjoying your 4th of July wherever you are.
Good pitch. Pitcher's pitch. Pitcher's pitch. A little bit of a play, but still down, sinking away from Mike.
Full house at Shea. Piazza the batter, Vazquez the pitcher. Matsui at first. The 0-2 pitch is up high. So it's 1-2. Big question in that All-Star game. Art Howe will be watching it along with all the people here at Shea. Will Mike Piazza and Roger Clemens be the starting battery?
I think they will be, and I don't think that'll be a problem.
No, it's not going to be a problem at all. I mean, they're certainly not going to room together in Houston.
Okay, very good, Fran.
Imagine being wrong on that one.
Well, Vazquez might be feeling the pressure here. He has the chance for the first time in his career to, if he wins today, to get his career record over 500. He's 73-73 coming into this game. He started his career at 7-20 lifetime. Oh, where's that pitch? And this will not lie. We'll take a peek. Oh, man, that's a strike.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Piazza is ranked 2nd on the Mets all-time home run list with 193. And he pulls his ball to short. Jeter holds it. He still has time. He throws it wild, but Clark makes the grab and tags Piazza. But the Mets scored 2 more in this ball game. It happened right here. Over the flags. You watch Ty Wigginton hit it over the right field wall, and the Mets have a 3-0 lead. Javier Vazquez and then Bernie Williams. It's 3-zip. The Mets on top of the Yankees. Fran Healy along with Keith Hernandez, Matt Loughlin. And it's an absolutely gorgeous 4th of July day. We hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. watching the Yankees and the Mets.
Happy to be able to join you two guys up in the booth today.
Now, we've talked about this crowd. It's a huge crowd on hand. Matt, you were out there amongst the crowd earlier today.
Very excited, party atmosphere as you would expect on a holiday. And Ty Wigginton has made the Mets partisans happy.
Cairo takes a strike. You know, it's amazing how the game, you know, we talk about how guys work out. I read where Cairo, prior to this season, would run 90-yard sprints, 60-yard sprints, and then go into a gym, Keith, for an hour, lift weights, and then spend 3 hours on a baseball field. This was every day during the off-season.
That's a little overkill.
So you think it's too much?
I wouldn't even have met him a tenth of the way.
That's why I said the game has changed. Cairo hits a ground ball to short. Kaz Matsui off the base. So a break as it scored an error on Kaz Matsui. Second base was open. Ty Wigginton quickly, after backing up the play at first, ran down to second. Cairo thought about it, but Wigginton got back down there.
Well, it's a ball in the hole here, and Matsui has had trouble with his throwing here. I think Mike got a little bit committed too quickly and had to readjust, and I think it would have pulled him off the bag anyway. A left-handed first baseman would have had a better stretch. Mike just got kind of tangled up there.
That's a
tough play.
Panasonic digital replay, and it scored an error on Kaz Matsui. Bunt in order. Vazquez bunts the ball foul, so it's 0-1 on Javier Vazquez.
You know, you mentioned the crowd, Fran. I was here yesterday watching the game. It was a busman's holiday, and in some stadiums with some rivalries, it's vicious. The fans here yesterday were cheering for whomever was their favorite, but at least where I was seated, and as I moved around, it was a friendly rivalry.
Were you sitting next to George Steinbrenner?
Didn't sit next to him. Who's, by the way, celebrating a birthday today?
George is?
Oh yeah, 4th of July. As Joe Torre looks on. So it's 0-2 on Vazquez.
Has he still got George Costanza under his employ?
It's a huge rivalry between the two teams, and I saw some very interesting things over the years when we used to play the Mets in spring training. Here's the 0-2 pitch as he squares the bunt, brings the bat back. One time we saw the players played in St. Petersburg against the against the Mets. We lost. The story goes George was in the clubhouse with Billy Martin, reprimanding him for losing. Billy hit a bucket of ice with his fist. The ice shot up in the air and landed on top of Gabe Paul, the general manager, who was sitting there listening to the conversation. Back to Soto. Goes to second for one. Got him! So the Mets turn another double play.
Well, this is something that So has done this year. This is the 10th double play, second in this game that he's thrown, and this is 1-6-3 tailor-made double play, and what made this possible was Vazquez getting into a 2-strike count, not getting the bunt down his first 2 strikes. And again, the Yankees, for the 3rd straight time, get a leadoff runner on, and the runner gets wiped out.
Bernie Williams will be the batter. Singled his first time up, leading off the ball game for the Yanks. So it's 1-0 on Bernie Williams.
And getting back to So in the double play balls this year. He only had 8 last year, so I stand corrected, in 137 chances. This year so far now in, what, 59 chances.
Uh-oh. It's a long drive, deep right field. Hidalgo looks up, it's way out of here. So Bernie Williams getting the Yankees up on the scoreboard. Place is still rocking.
Well, there was no question about that one. Mets benefiting by the fact that they turned a double play just before it, as Williams has his 10th home run of the season. And that is what you will notice both here and at Yankee Stadium. Good or bad, no matter what happens, somebody's cheering for it. Fair amount of Yankee fans here. There are a fair amount of Mets fans over at Yankee Stadium. So for both sides, there's noise.
In Shea Stadium, rocking with both Met and Yankee fans. Now let's listen to this.
Well, he crushed it, and you can hear it. He knew it right away, and this ball was way out of here. I got to believe that would have been upper deck in Yankee Stadium.
So Derek Jeter is the batter. Takes way inside. He is the 11th captain in Yankees history. I guess the most famous was Lou Gehrig. Babe Ruth was the captain of the Yankees for just a couple of days. He decided to chase a fan one day and get in a fist fight, and that was it. They took it away from the Babe.
They didn't do that back in them days, did they?
Oh.
You just didn't read about them back in those days.
Right. Jeter set to go against Jay So. 2 outs. He takes up high. 2-2. You know, it's an interesting situation. I know we're talking about a great deal in the American League. You got an outstanding third baseman or shortstop playing third base, and an outstanding shortstop playing shortstop. Third baseman is better than the shortstop. I wonder how difficult that is to live with as Jeter fouls it off.
Well, I think that Rodriguez is a professional, and I think that Alex has more potential. And there's, you see the pitch there, fouled off by Jeter. It's more of a third baseman's build. Jeter's more of a shortstop. I don't think Jeter would be. I think what I'm trying to say is I think Rodriguez has more potential to become a better fielding third baseman than Jeter. I think it's the right move.
I believe that Rodriguez, I think he's 1 home run away from Cal Ripken's record. The American League as the ball's hit up the middle. Nice play, Matsui. Can't get him. Ball's thrown by Piazza. But Phillips gets down there to back up first base. And Jeter's on first with a base hit.
Well, Jeter runs very well here, and we have noticed with Matsui, I mean, it's a tough play up the middle. He hasn't got the strong throwing arm. That's a tough play right there, throwing on the run. But I got to believe that you've got to make this play and make this out here.
In this series, we saw Kaz Matsui make this play spin and throw to first.
When you spin, you can get more on the ball, but it takes a little split second longer.
Well, 2-minute round, Gary Sheffield, who hammers Jay So, is the batter. He takes a strike. You know, it's funny you talk about the shortstops. When you think about it, there are 4 shortstops, well, really 3 in the game, 2 for the Yankees, 1 for the Mets, and of course the Mets have an outstanding shortstop who's a second baseman in their dugout, Jose Reyes. So you get some pretty good gloves here at Shea Stadium today. Outside to Sheffield. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sheffield having some trouble with Scott Boras, his agent now, huh?
I read that, and financial difficulties here. I guess there's going to be I don't know if it's a lawsuit or it'll go before Labor Board, I believe.
Okay.
There'll be a arbitration case, and
Same thing.
it'll be decided sooner or later.
Scott Boras, one of the more high-profile agents in all of sports, and I guess the most controversial.
He's also the best agent in the game.
Well,
so as far as getting contracts for his players, and that's his job.
A-Rod will tell you that. Sheffield didn't like the call. Count evens up.
Well, this crew right here, they have always seemed to be in the thick of some controversy. That looked like a strike to me. We'll get this angle here is perfect, and it's a strike.
How about his lead leg, his lead foot going over the plate? He didn't step on the plate, but that was a great shot from our camera upstairs. mentioned Jay So has struggled against Sheffield, so it's 2-2 with 2 outs. Fouls it back.
He takes a cut, man, I tell you. You just wonder, Fran, all that movement with the bat. It just, you can see all the barrel just practically go down to his waist almost, like a horizontal with the ground. If you cut that back, would he be a better hitter? But are you going to change that? I don't think so. You let him go ahead and hit that way.
And it's funny because he makes contact consistently with his violent swing. He made contact there. Jay So is quick. He gets Sheffield at first base. Jeter stranded. And the Yanks score a run. How they do it? Right there. Bernie Williams went deep. It's 3-1. Mets. Now, if anybody hits that ball over that Acela sign out there, Steve Sullivan from Weong, New Jersey will be our lucky winner. And Cliff Floyd just swung and missed.
Steve's got to like his chances here with Floyd, Hidalgo, and Spencer due to hit this inning.
A lot of people will be taking that Acela Express to Philadelphia. You're one.
I will.
I'm two.
There's two. Big series coming up tomorrow in Philly as Floyd takes inside. It's interesting coming off the big series. This is a big series. I know people try to downplay it. This is a big series. And Matty, you said you were in the stands yesterday. I mean, it's electric here at Shea.
No question about it. Sellouts all 3 days here, 3 days at Yankee Stadium. Regardless of what others feel about it, the fans have spoken.
Absolutely. And when Keith, place is sold out. Not difficult to get up for a game.
Oh, no, absolutely. You kidding? I remember when I first came up, well, not when I first came up, but in those down years in the 70s, late 70s with the Mets, you'd come here with 3,000 people, 5,000 people. You'd have to find ways to get yourself motivated to get out there, you know, and get going.
What was interesting today in the clubhouse, the players were allowed with the day game to arrive a little later than normal. There was no batting practice. Everyone was there by 11:30, but the point is it was a very quiet clubhouse. Even when everyone was there, it was hard to tell that it was a Yankee Mets series, and maybe it's just because it's a day game and third game of this series. Not that they weren't excited, but it was more like a business as usual.
Well, baseball's not like football where you have once a week and you build up from Monday and it reaches a crescendo on Sunday and they're all fired up. Baseball's every day, and you have to take a pretty even keel approach.
It's Floyd's right time. You got to be relaxed. You know where you can play the game. If you get wired like you get in football, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Plus, you'll be tackling people. There's that swing, the big swing from Cliff Floyd.
Well, we've been getting them out. We've been getting Floyd out with the changeup. He's a dead, no, I'm not going to say he's a dead fastball hitter. He is a very, very good fastball hitter. But the off-speed pitch tends to give him a little bit of trouble. Third strikeout for Vazquez.
Richard Hidalgo, who hasn't had very much trouble since coming over to the Mets, is the batter. Takes a strike. See, I don't know if it's me, but it seemed like Jim Duquette was able to kind of sneak that trade. All of a sudden, bang. Heard about it one night when we were doing a game here at Shea. We announced it on the air. Next thing you know, he comes over and he's hammering the baseball.
I don't think he's through with making a deal. I think he's out there searching for a pitcher. I wouldn't be surprised if something is going to happen down the road here.
He said what did help him is Hidalgo had fallen into the manager's doghouse, which, as you know, you don't want to go in the doghouse.
And you had a Houston team with high expectations that was flopping.
Hidalgo takes outside, 2-1. Saw a shot of Don Baylor down there, watching Hidalgo. There's the entertainment before the ball game on the 4th of July.
USO from Metro New York. There's Miss USO.
In the white, yes.
Yeah. So they did a great job.
They did. They really did.
All patriotic songs.
I was sitting up here and I was kind of getting ready for the game and doing my preparation, and I just was pleasant to listen to them sing.
And they sang the theme song from the different military units. As Hidalgo swings and misses, it's 3-2, a 3-1 breaking ball.
Well, it looks like a breaking ball or a change, one or the other. And 3-1, I know pitchers want to do that. Fine, okay. Can you do it 3-1? Okay, your attitude is, can you do it 3-2 then, pal? Just don't make a mistake.
You know, it's funny, Keith, when I first showed up in spring training. I was 18 years old, and they said the philosophy is don't call anything 3-1 that you won't call 3-2. Doesn't make sense, does it? But it sounds good.
A fastball away now. He shook him off twice.
Big swing, fouled back and out of play. I noticed.
Who told you that? Who pitching coaches?
Bertie Tebbets was the manager.
He was the manager for the Angels for a long time, wasn't he?
No, Bertie was the manager for Cleveland Indians.
That's right, that's right.
Long-time baseball man, catcher, psychology major at Providence College.
Good eye.
So Hidalgo walks. Mets have a base runner with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, and the batter will be Shane Spencer. And hey, kids, be a part of the team by joining the Mets Fan Club for Kids, presented by the Sports Authority, Newsday, and Fleer. For more information, call 201-784-960 or log on to Mets.com/Kids Club. By the way, it's 784-9600.
And before the game, and of course on weekends, the fans come out to Fan Fest. They made some changes out there. A Mets employee has to spend time out there in the dunk contest and be exposed to a dunk in the water.
It's great for kids. It really is. It's out there beyond the right field fence, and that's a fantastic. During the course of the summer months, you see the big guy go into the water there.
Well, the employee has to wear the jersey of the opponent, and it was packed before the game. I was out there, I guess about 11:30 or so.
Spencer puts the ball in play. Rodriguez goes to first. A wild throw. Another break for the Mets. Hidalgo will go to third. And the Mets have runners on the corners with only 1 man out.
Well, it's the play that Rodriguez has to make. Throw on the run. He just got it up the line, and that's a big target over at first base and Tony Clark. So this really has to be thrown high and to get out of his reach. It's your Panasonic Ideas for Life replay there. Tony Clark, 6'5". Mets are in business.
So Jason Phillips now will be the batter. Runners on the corner. Spencer can run. I wonder if Art Howe would put him in motion.
I doubt it here.
As Phillips takes a strike.
Phillips has only struck out 25 times this year. I just would like to see him shorten up a little bit here. You need a sacrifice fly. You don't need to strike out. Shorten up your stroke. Go up the middle.
Ground ball is a definite double play.
Absolutely.
So it's 0-1 on Phillips. Mets trying to break this game open. They have a 2-run lead. It's 3-1. Phillips fouls the ball back.
You know, fellas, it's been a bad year at the plate for Jason Phillips. Got off to the horrendous start. Does that stay with you for the rest of the year, even if you slowly start to come out of it? I mean, how hard is it to put 3 months past you and think, you know what, today we start anew?
Well, the difference, too, you've got the guy over there on the Yankee side that got off to a horrible start, Derek Jeter. And he's come around, but he's a veteran. This is a 2-year man right here.
75 pitches so far for the Yankee right-hander. He misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Matty, a lot of it is confidence, and you don't know where a 2-year man is. There's always a sophomore jinx. You've got that in your mind, and you know that's a negative thought. And it just seems like he's just kind of grinding himself into a deeper hole. He's got a big swing. I just feel he's got to shorten his swing. Doesn't like the ball from the belt up, and they've been pitching him fastballs up in the strike zone and breaking balls then down in the dirt. And that's how they've been getting him out.
So Phillips behind on the count. With runners on the corners here in the 3rd inning. He drives his ball left field. Matsui grabs it. Hidalgo tag. He scores easily. And it's now 4-1 New York Mets. So Phillips Phillips with the sac fly, and Spencer returns to first.
Pretty much the same pitch that Piazza got, a hanging breaking ball up, out over the plate. I'm sure he wanted to get it down and away in the dirt to get the strikeout, but an identical pitch to Piazza in the first inning. And here's the tag up here. It's just similar. This play is just a ditto of Piazza's sacrifice fly. You can walk. Fran, you and I could score on that one.
You could. As Ty Wigginton takes outside for a ball.
I've seen you, Mark. You'd be all right.
That's after the game. As we got Ty Wigginton with the 1-0 count. Runner on first base, 2 outs. Jay So is on deck. Richard Hidalgo scoring on the sac fly.
You know, one of the things we talk about in the media is putting a run on the board after you've given one up, as has happened here. Does that matter on the field? You guys have played the game.
I think it's great. I think more importantly, it's when you score a run that your pitcher goes out and puts a goose egg up.
Base hit left field. So Ty Wigginton continues to hammer the baseball. He hit a long home run over the right field fence his first time up. So he's 2 for 2.
Looks like a fastball. He's pulled his fastball, but down and away. And more importantly, that 2-out hit from the 8th hitter to get that pitcher to the plate. You never know, a pitcher might dork one in there, and you got an RBI. If he doesn't, you got top of the order next inning. It's just so critical.
Mel Stoudemire going out to talk to the right-hander. So Jay So will be the batter. And a reminder, MSG's telecast of today's Mets game is available right now in high definition only on cable TV. With widescreen images up to 5 times sharper than regular TV and Dolby Digital sound. MSG Network is high def, available only on cable TV. Cablevision, one of the pioneers in high def, and everybody's raving about that picture. Runners on first and second. Jay So hits a long fly ball to right field. Gary Sheffield makes the grab, but here in the bottom of the 3rd, the Mets pick up another run. After 3, the Mets have a 3-run lead. His fellow countryman Hideki Matsui wears 55 for a reason. As Matsui takes up high, the Yankees Matsui wears number 55 because of Sadahara O's 55 home runs. When he signed to play in Japan out of high school, they gave him 55, figuring that he might break the record. He fell short. Foul out of play.
Who was the one player that went over there from the American player that had the record broke with 3 games to go and they walked him every at bat?
That's an excellent point. Randy Bass?
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, when I did a game over there, and there's been books written about it, how they didn't want at that time an American or anybody outside of Japan to break any records. I'm assuming that's changed. One thing about baseball here is go on the field, nobody cares where you're from, what you do. If you're good enough.
It's a level playing field.
Oh, it really is.
All sports.
Yeah, absolutely. Kaz Matsui takes down and in. Randy Bass, I believe, won a Triple Crown a couple of times over there.
And am I correct in the last 3 games it was against Tokyo and Sadahara was the manager? Am I correct there?
Yes, I know Sadahara was the manager in Tokyo because of the game we did the Giant game, and I had a chance to interview him. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Matsui, who's probably grew up a Sadahara fan. And now we'll go back to our Aflac trivia question.
Third baseman, number 27.
Well, which 2 players hold the single season record for most RBI in a Subway Series? Single season. So the 6 games. Who has the most RBI? Yeah, Matty, you were right. You figured Piazza. He had that Grand Slam, you said, 99. Was that the year he had the Grand Slam?
Hideki Matsui, who wears that number 55. Last year, he had 15 or 16 home runs. First year in the United States. He's right there now, his second year, as Zeal takes his stride.
Well, more importantly, Getting back to this game at present, Kaz Matsui has had 3 at-bats. He's been on base all 3 times, 2 by walk, 1 by a base hit.
Well, he's now 6 for 10 in this series.
Well, he wanted to redeem himself, and he picked the right series to do it against the Yankees.
He's came into the game with a .328 on base percentage, hitting .259. So he's improved on that. .328 is not what you want on base percentage from a leadoff hitter.
And a 1-1 pitch. Zeal takes inside.
This has just been a labor for Vazquez today. He just hasn't been able to get into a groove.
About 87 pitches already, and
Boy.
we're in the 4th inning.
And they got someone up in the Yankee bullpen.
He's thrown 44 strikes, but he's also thrown 43 balls. He's one of their best. He throws a strike there.
Well, and the Mets today have shown great patience against him. The Mets on occasion, more than on occasion, have been guilty this year. First ball swinging a lot. Today, patience.
Well, a lot of it is getting their attention, and I think Don Baylor, and this is not a criticism of Danny Walling, but Don Baylor seems to have gotten their attention because there has been a noticeable improvement in their selection, pitch selection, their patience at the plate. I mean, Danny Walling, I don't know if the players know, but Danny Walling was a heck of a hitter. And he just never got a chance to play every day, but he was one of the best pinch hitters in the game. But Don Baylor was an MVP, had some terrific years, was a heck of a ball player.
There goes Matsui to throw to second. He got him. No, ball 4. So Zeal walks. And the Mets have runners on first and second with nobody out. And guess who's coming to dinner?
That's the 5th of Mike Piazza, of course. And there goes Mel out there, Mel Stoudemire, of course, and that's going to be the end of Vazquez. You see Heredia and Brett Prenz, I got to believe you're not going to bring in a left-hander to face Piazza. Piazza murders left-handers. It's the 5th walk for Vazquez and 1 hit by pitch.
So big meeting on the mound. Talking about Mike Piazza, who will be the all-star catcher this week in Houston, Texas. Mets trying to sweep the Yankees here in the final game of this 3-game series. And then they're off to Philadelphia. But Joe Torre has eyes just for this game.
Well, I got to believe this will be his last batter. If he does not get Mike Piazza out, Heredia is going to come in to face Floyd. Four base hits in 3 innings pitched, 4 base hits, 5 walks, 1 hit batsman. That's a struggle.
It's all about the big fella at the plate right now. He can open this baby up. Let's have a 3-run lead. He takes inside, ball 1. Right now, the pitch count is 91.
Well, I tell you what, as a hitter, I always loved in a tight situation where you can hurt a pitcher who's in struggling, that he tries to get ahead of you with a breaking ball and he hangs it and throws it bad. Now you're 1-0. Okay, buddy, you can't get that curve over. Boy, you're looking for a piece of cheese.
Piazza fouls it off.
Well, I tell you what, Mike wishes he had that one back. That was right down the pipe. Look at this. Oh, my goodness.
Well, he's due in this home run streak the Mets have had. He's not participated, which makes those numbers even more impressive. 17 home runs. Add Wigginton's today, 18 home runs in the last 7 games counted today.
Good rip, fouls that ball back. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mike Piazza.
Well, Mike has had 2 good swings here. That's a fastball. I give Vazquez credit. He challenged him. came inside on the inside corner and challenged, and Mike had a great cut. 1-2 count. Now the advantage to Vazquez.
With Matsui on second and Zeal over at first. Vazquez will throw his 94th pitch this game. So he's at 94 and he's got a full count. Or I should say a 2-2 count.
Now the fastball in just missed. Let's see. Yes, sir. Ball 2.
How about 47 strikes and 47 balls, and you're in the 4th inning. Mel Stottlemyre talking to Joe Torre. Vazquez didn't like the call. You know, I mentioned earlier how Jorge Posada, when he first broke in, took it as an insult when the pitcher shook him off. Wasn't happy, but they said he's learned to adjust. There's a ground ball, should be 2. It is 1, 2, 6, 4, 3, double play. As Piazza grounds out, Matsui moves to third on the double play.
Well, I give Vazquez credit here. He came after Piazza with fastballs here, and he pitched him inside again, and Mike induces Mike into the 6-4-3 double play. So that is just, I always like to see a pitcher do that, not mess around and try to get cute. You got a good fastball, go get these guys.
Cliff Floyd, the batter, struck out his first 2 times up, and he pulls it foul. See his numbers. 11 home runs. Boy, he hit a ball against the Houston Astros this year. He was looking for a curveball when he first came back from rehabbing. He hit it 9 miles in the ballpark in Houston.
Well, that's a huge double play for Vazquez.
Art Howell looking on. Floyd hit a long home run in yesterday's game. Pulls this one foul, so it's 0-2 on a man who struck out his first 2 times up. Struck out in the first, struck out in the third.
And he struck him out with changeups.
One time Cliff Floyd was his teammate up in Montreal. Joe Torre looking on. And I'm sure concerned about having to go to the bullpen early. Ooh, inside on Cliff Floyd.
Well, that's something he had to do right there. He's got ahead with the 2 changeups. Now come see if he doubles up with the fastball here. I guarantee you, if he doubles up with the fastball, he'll miss inside bad, and he'll go back to the change. Philly hat, what's that guy thinking? You're in the wrong town, pal.
Waiting for tomorrow. And he gets Floyd for the 3rd time this afternoon. But the Mets, going to the top of the 5th inning, have a 3-run lead. Coming schedule, Matty.
25 games coming up are all against NL East opponents. Begins tomorrow in Philadelphia. 4-game set. Fox Sports Net on Monday and Thursday. Here on MSG Tuesday and Wednesday. Geico Mets on deck kicks off our coverage before all MSG and Fox Sports Net games. And then it's on to Florida before the All-Star break.
Tony Clark leads it off for the Yankees here in the top of the 5th inning. Clark will be followed by Miguel Cairo and then Javier Vazquez, we think.
Yeah, I would think Joe is going to go to a pinch hitter. It's only 4-1, but he's been just so wild.
Well, in particular, too, the pitch count is so important in today's game. He's close to 100 if he's not got 100 already.
And that certainly looks like Mel Stottlemyre is telling him we'll get him next time.
Clark having a solid season with the Yankees. Boy, what a pickup he was for the Yankees.
And they were talking about cutting him in spring training. Because they got Travis Lee.
Travis Lee goes down with an injury. So it's a big break for the Yankees to have Tony Clark, who when he first came up, they were predicting superstardom for him with the Tigers. He takes up high, and He hit it to this double play in the second inning.
This was the double play back in the second, and a big double play, and nice play by Piazza here with the throw and getting back to the bag. So that was a big double play. It's the second double play. There's 2 double plays that So has served up today.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Tony Clark, and that's strike 3, and look out! So Tony Clark strikes out Jay So, getting Clark in a 3-2 pitch.
Well, he gets him with the changeup in a perfect spot. And that is duck. It is just amazing to me that more people don't get clobbered when something like that happens. It always seems like they get out of the way.
They get a new bat. Or will they negotiate the gamer? Well, he's happy and he's healthy. There's a breaking ball to Cairo.
And he's practicing good health against Mother Nature in the sunshine.
Sunscreen on the ears.
He can lighten up on that stuff, can't he? Jeez. That's a little overkill.
It's 0-2 now on Miguel Cairo. Became rather quiet here at Shea. Up high. Vazquez on deck.
Well, Heredia and Prinz had plenty of time to get loose. We'll see what Joe opts to do here.
You might let him stay in the game because, as you know, Keith, you see guys that, you know, your 1 or 2 starters should go longer with them, and they have more of an impact on whether or not they come out of the game if they are asked.
Well, it's just amazing to me that you carry 12 pitchers, which means you have 7 guys in the bullpen, and we always hear every manager say, well, every town we go into, every opposing team, my bullpen's worn out. How?
Popped up, shall right field, Hidalgo and Wigginton, and miscommunication. So Cairo's on first base for the base hit. Wigginton going out briskly and Hidalgo charging in, and they were lucky they didn't collide.
Well, the outfielder is the general here, and you've got to scream and yell if you got it, and you can see there that was a near disaster. That would have been a horrible collision. It reminds me of the difficulties that Darryl Strawberry and Tim Tuffle had communicating out in pop-ups like that. Tim Tuffle very soft-spoken. Darryl was very soft-spoken. So it got to a point where if they collided a couple times, and Darryl, there's a bunt right there. Joe let Vazquez hit.
Oh, I'll tell you, you're tempted as a catcher to get, when you pick that baby up that close to home, go for the lead runner. But Phillips wisely went after Vazquez.
I agree.
Cairo got down there in a hurry, didn't he?
And I agree. He got a 3-run lead, and it's no, there's 2 outs now. But getting back to the point of communication between Darryl and Tim Tuffle, I got to a point where there was no one on base. I would run out there and yell which one, because they were getting to the point where they were getting angry at each other, particularly Darryl's getting angry at Tuffle. I said, that's an end to this. Let's put an end to it. I just started running out on the short pop-ups and say Darryl, 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 or tough, tough, tough. And then they had no problem after that.
What about with a crowd like this? Would this have an impact the crowd?
I had a voice that could carry across on a full house. They could hear me.
Because you guys played in front of a full house a lot back in the 80s. Jay So doesn't want anybody to read his lips.
You talk to my daughters. They don't when they got me mad. Oh, Dad, don't shout. I go, I'm not shouting, Melissa. Believe me, you know if I was shouting.
Can't picture that. Well, runner on second base. And Bernie Williams, who's 2 for 2. He's got a single. He's got a home run as the batter. And Sui going in behind Cairo at second base.
And there seems to be some confusion on the part of the Mets defense. Art Howe, Matt Galante, and Gary Pettis are pointing out to Ty Wigginton where to move on it. And finally, it appears the word's gotten through.
They want Ty Wigginton to move. Oh, time is called. Time is called by Jason Phillips. C.B. Bucknor, the home plate umpire, called time.
Which I think this is a good move by Phillips. Let's get it straight here. Art Howe wants something done.
They're pointing to center field.
And let's get it done. Call timeout and make sure it's everybody's where Art Howe wants them.
Mike Riley moved a step, then looked around like me, and now Ty Wigginton smiling. I think it was Shane Spencer
yeah, they're
finally.
pointing to Spencer on
that they
center
want,
field.
yeah.
Because Gary Pettis was very animated. He's the outfield coach. And Bernie Williams takes a strike. I mentioned how he's 2 for 2 with the home run and a single. Mets after the sweep here at Shea.
Spencer giving the thumbs up there. Got it.
Over, high strike.
Borderline high strike. And if you go by the letters, let's see.
It's a strike.
It's a strike if you go by the letters. Had the plate. Lots of plate.
So it's 0-2 now. Race pitch. Jay so far in this ball game, living on the corners, changing speeds very well.
Well, he doesn't want to face the guy in the on-deck circle. Derek Jeter, who's red hot.
That's a base hit for Williams. Here comes Cairo to throw to the plate. Safe. Jason Phillips was back off the plate. He had the heart of the plate as opposed to the front of the plate blocked. So the Yankees pick up an aggressive run.
Well, it's good base running by Cairo. This ball's ripped by Williams. Tough chance for Wigginton, but you got to make that play. Matsui alertly there makes the perfect throw home, but this is all Miguel Cairo here hustling from second base. You see Matsui right there picking the ball up. Perfect throw home. That is just bravo to Miguel Cairo. Great hustle.
So now the Yankees have 2 runs. The Mets lead 4-2, and Bernie Williams is 3 for 3.
Wigginton yelling all the way, go home, go home.
See where Jason Phillips is set up? They want you a little bit more out towards the corner of the plate.
You want him blocking more towards the third base line, up the third base line.
That's right.
I agree.
So the Yankees pick up a run. There was a meeting on the mound.
And that's a base hit RBI for Williams. So this has been the Achilles heel of the Mets all season, is their defense.
Well, Bernie Williams on first base. Miguel Cairo has scored, and the batter will be Derek Jeter.
And that's a tough play for Wigginton, but it's a play that should be made.
And Jeter takes a strike. Ty Wigginton, by the way, if you just tuned in, is at second base this afternoon because Jose Reyes is nursing a tender hamstring. Mets are hoping Reyes will be back in the lineup tomorrow night. There's a foul ball. So quickly, Jay So gets ahead.
He got ahead of also quickly of Bernie Williams. So there's a case that if Jose Reyes doesn't have the tight hamstring is out there today. Jose Reyes makes that play, I do believe, 99 out of 100 times. And by the way, he's been playing a terrific second base.
Reyes tweaking that hamstring yesterday. Art Howe has indicated, or did indicate, that he was considering giving him a day off. Considering the long road he's taken to get here, the amount of games he's played since, and then the hamstring being tweaked again just confirmed.
And I think more importantly is he's been struggling with his bat. You don't want somebody to dig too deep a hole. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Jeter puts it in play. Matsui gloves it. Goes to first base, and Jeter safe. I thought he was going to go to second base.
I have no clue why he went to first.
Neither do I. I thought second base he would try for the force play. Easier for him there.
this befuddles me a little bit right there. Williams was not running.
And Williams is not fast. He used to be.
That's a much longer throw. You got to try the short throw and get the force here. And you can see a tough chance. And this is a routine ground ball here too, and Matsui's range has not been terrific.
So the Yankees have runners on first and second. Gary Sheffield will be the batter.
So these are things defensively that we talk about. The more glaring things are the errors. But there's also plays like this where they're ruled base hits, but they're defensive mistakes, or you don't have the defensive ball club. It doesn't show up as an error.
Popped up. This should do it. Wigginton makes the grab. So pitches out of the jam, but he did allow one run. We go to the bottom of the fifth. The Mets have a 2-run lead. Back here, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. 4-2 ball game. Mets on top of the Yankees. Hidalgo the batter. He'll be followed by Spencer and then Phillips. 1 ball and no strikes on Hidalgo. Jose Reyes not in the lineup this afternoon. Mets are hoping he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow in Philadelphia for the start of a 4-game series that's even bigger than this series.
Well, it's back in division.
That's right.
It's a nice little stretch of schedule where you're going to play the competition. You can make your move up the ladder.
Phillies are leading the Orioles 3-2 in the 5th inning. Marlins will play later on today as Hidalgo takes outside. Tampa Bay will be playing those Marlins in Miami. Don't forget the All-Star team. They'll announce the team later on today as Hidalgo picks up a base hit. So the Mets have a base runner here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And a reminder, New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by HIP Health Plan. Now that's hip. By Infinity, makers of the full-size QX56. And by the power of you, your advisor and drivers. To learn more, call your financial advisor.
Well, here's the base hit here. A fastball out over the plate. It got a little off the end of the bat. Got it away enough. Otherwise, that might have been launched out of here. And once again now, for the 4th time in 5 innings, the Mets have a leadoff runner on.
Up the middle. Oh, what a play by Jeter. Outstanding play by the Yankee shortstop. He proves time and again he's special.
Well, he's playing at double play depth here, and that is just a fine play. Diving in the flip.
And we talk about the guys he's mentioned with Nomar Garcia, Parra, A-Rod. They all came up around the same time. His defense is what makes him special. A-Rod's terrific defensively, was there at shortstop. His bat's not as good as the other 2 guys, but I think his all-around play is what makes him exceptional and the best.
He is one of the best all-around players in the game today. There's no question about it. All facets of the game.
So 1 out. The batter, Jason Phillips, picks up a base hit in the left field.
I got to believe Joe is not going to have too much more patience with Vazquez here. It's obvious he's in trouble. And that's it. Here comes Mel again out of the bullpen. Mel Stottlemyre. I don't think Joe is going to let this game get out of hand.
So Jason Phillips picking up a base hit. Ty Wigginton will be the batter. Mel Stottlemyre once again calling a meeting of the minds on the mound.
Heredia was up before. It won't take him too much longer to get rewarmed. This just might be a delay.
It is a delay, absolutely.
Mel talks for a few minutes, comes back a few seconds, and then Torrey, who's had the patience of Joe with Vazquez.
Well, he's gone. Mel Stottlemyre back to the dugout.
Ty Wigginton is 2 for 2 today. A home run, 2-run homer in the 2nd, a single in the 3rd. And you've got So coming up next. So conceivably he can get out of this inning. With the big out, obviously, is Wigginton.
Wigginton with a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning. He also has a single. He's having a big afternoon. He takes a strike. Watching all the action this afternoon on MSG Network. Fran Healy, Keith Hernandez, Matt Loughlin. Hope you're enjoying all the action from Shea Stadium. We'll be back at you tomorrow night from Philadelphia on Fox Sports Net.
Nice block by Posada there on a breaking ball in the dirt in a critical situation right there. Runners on first and second. Here's Ty's home run, the 2-run homer back in the 8th. The fastball out over the plate. And here in the 3rd inning, rips a fastball in the outer half of the plate and pulls it into left field. 2 for 2.
Jay So will follow Wigginton. I'd be surprised with the base open if Wigginton gets anything to hit. There's a high fly ball, deep left field. Matsui at the wall makes the grab. So Ty Wigginton, who has a 2-run home run, comes very close to a 3-run home run.
Well, there's the fastball that Vazquez likes to throw up in the strike zone. And if that is an inch lower, Fran, that would be the difference from F7 on your scorecard to home run, 3-run homer. That high riding fastball he likes to throw. Got it high enough to get above the bat enough. Ty Wigginton right on it. Good swing.
There's a strike to Jay So. Nice catch.
You're going to watch your scorecard, Fran.
Almost went right out, but you still have those quick hands. Oh, look at that breaking ball. Now, with the way Jay So reacted to that ball, would you throw him anything but a breaking ball?
I would, as a pitcher, yes. It would break.
I would go right down the line. Oh, boy.
Here's another one. Take this one with you.
Jeez. He throws him a fastball. He gets a hit off this. There's a breaking ball. So that'll do it for Jay So. And the Mets here in the 5th inning. Ty Wigginton came close, but no cigar. But the Mets still have the lead, and we'll be back. Just enter at participating Nextel retailers. Then watch the Mets and MSG August 3rd and 4th. If your name appears on the screen and you're the first to call, you could go coast to coast with MSG Network. And we're back here at Shea Stadium on a sun-drenched afternoon. The Mets trying to sweep the Yankees. Alex Rodriguez steps in to face Jay So. He swings and misses. Now in with the play-by-play, Matt Loughlin.
All right, Fran, A-Rod today struck out looking in the 1st and then flew out to center field in the 4th. 4-2 the score. Mets on top looking for the sweep, looking for their first sweep of a Subway Series against the Yankees as Brett Prinz is up in the bullpen. We saw Mel Stottlemyre talking to Javier Vazquez. It may be that he told Vazquez, "You gave us 5. It was a struggle for you, but we appreciate the fact you kept us in it." And we'll see whether or not Vazquez comes out for the bottom of the 6th. Rodriguez, Matsui, and Posada to face Jae-Young So here in the 6th. Matsui on deck. So pitched well his last outing, Fran, in Cincinnati.
Yeah, So's throwing the ball very well. In fact, prior to that trip to Cincinnati, I mentioned at that time, Matt, that I saw him in right field here. Nobody was in the ballpark having a catch with his interpreter.
Hard hit ball down the line. Foul. Chuck Merriweather, the 3rd base umpire, gave it the good look.
Now, Matt, you and Keith were talking last thing about Derek Jeter. He is a terrific shortstop. I would never take anybody over A-Rod. All around?
Listen, he's going to have 500 home runs, maybe more by the time his career is done.
Plus, he won the Gold Glove last year.
Good defensively, I mentioned that too. And maybe it's just that we've seen Jeter more often. We've seen him in postseason play.
Jeter's an excellent player, as A-Rod watched. Jeter is an excellent player. A-Rod is something special. Makes the game look easy. As we take a look at our Jeep game summary, Wigginton, big afternoon again. Bernie Williams is hot. like Piazza and Jason Phillips who sacrifice flies. But again, you know, talking about those shortstops, Jeter's special. And so is this guy here, and Garcia Parra when he's healthy. How about that pitch right there? Borderline.
Maybe a little low, maybe a little outside. That's the way C.B. Buckner saw it, and so there's a leadoff walk. And once again, leadoff runner on for the Yankees as Hideki Matsui steps in, and he takes the first pitch for a strike.
Mentioned now Matsui coming out of high school in Japan. It was predicted superstardom for him.
And it was true in Japan, and he has settled into be a very solid major league player.
High school baseball in Japan is unbelievably popular. When there are tournaments around you, radios are all local. When I was in Tokyo, all you would hear is high school baseball games, and he was a superstar in high school.
So delivers outside. It's 1-1. Matsui had his adjustment period in the first half of last year, then came on. Jorge Posada on deck.
Well, of course, they felt that he would hit as many home runs here or close to it that he hit in Japan. That's tough to do. He might before he's done. He's in a real good ballpark for a pull hitter, Yankee Stadium. Last time I did a game, I believe on July 4th, a Yankee game was when Dave Righetti threw a no-hitter.
Mike Stanton warming up for the Mets. Swung on and missed.
Here's that last pitch to Matsui. Pulls the string, gets him way out front. Matsui would prefer that fastball like most major league hitters.
Didn't like that curve that was offered at 78 miles per hour. Rick Peterson on the phone, checking on the status of Stanton in the bullpen. Short left field. Floyd got a late break on it, and it'll fall in front of him.
Misjudged ball by Cliff Floyd in left field. So Cliff Floyd breaks back and then can't overrun his mistake. If you can outrun your mistake, your sins are forgiven. But right there, ball drops in. That really should have been caught by Cliff Floyd. So the Yankees have runners on first and second with nobody out.
You don't want to open the door on this powerful offensive team too often.
But they don't miss capitalizing on opportunities very often. And this guy can cause a lot of damage at the plate.
And the first pitch to Posada is outside for a ball. He's 0 for 2. Flied out to left and flied out to right field. Fly to left was a foul ball call by Floyd after a long run.
Posada was convinced to try switch hitting by his dad. And he said he's happy he did it. At first he wasn't happy because he was a youngster and didn't understand it. But now he does, as you look at a switch hitter on deck, Tony Clark.
Well, the 6th inning has been the problem inning in terms of getting through it for Jae-Young. So this is just about when he runs out of gas or loses his focus, but he rarely pitches into the 7th inning. He did get into the 7th last game, 6 1/3.
Art Howe and Rick Peterson are very much aware of those numbers.
And now it's 3-0 to Posada. Clark on deck. Stanton has stopped throwing in the pen. He's ready. These are the spots that Jae-Young So has to get through to show the Mets that they should have confidence in him as they come down into the second half of the season. And now it's full. Clark on deck. Nobody down here in the 6th. Alex Rodriguez with a leadoff walk. Went to second on Hideki Matsui's fly ball that was misjudged by Cliff Floyd and fell in front of him for the base hit. here. Grounded to second. Wigginton backs up. Should be 2. And it is. A little closer than it might have been because of the high hop that Wigginton fielded, but nonetheless, Matsui with the strike. 2 outs on the play as A-Rod moves to third.
Well, tailor-made 4-6-3 double play. Matsui going to the center field side of second base. Wigginton, good throw. Matsui throwing off balance. And Jay So, a cheerleader. And you can see Rick Peterson in the Met dugout. So the Mets turn to double play. Art Howe heads to the mound. He's got double barrel action in the bullpen. I should say Mike Stanton in the bullpen. And Tony Clark, he would like to turn him around.
Talking things over with So, and the infield joins for the discussion along with Jason Phillips, but I think, yeah, he's going to make the move. He explained it to So, the reasons why.
I don't think so. I think he said, you know what, we're going to stand here for a second, we'll bring it in Stanton.
No explanation needed. Jay So probably knew exactly what was going to happen. So Jae-Young-So's day is done, although he's on the hook for the runner at third. Mike Stanton answers the direct connect call to the bullpen. Jae-Young-So, 5 2/3 innings of work, 8 hits, has allowed 2 earned runs. He is responsible for the runner at third, who is Alex Rodriguez. But if the lead can hold up, Jae-Young-So will have evened his mark at 5-5. As he'll watch from the bench as Mike Stanton has come on his 46th game. And his numbers against Tony Clark and Clark's numbers in general against left-handers dictated this move without question.
You got to turn him around. You don't want Clark swinging from the left side of the plate. And Art Howe knew it.
Clark batting just .159 against left-handers. Stanton has allowed just 1 hit in 20 at-bats by Clark against him. Breaking ball way out in front is Tony Clark, who's 0 for 2 today.
You see those numbers against left-handed pitching. Look at that, and against right-handed pitching. And that last pitch to Tony Clark, he's been getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches because the Mets know him as good as anybody because they had him. There's a heater.
So it's 0-2 to Tony Clark, who had a brilliant day yesterday.
Stuff they threw by him right there. Now Mike Stanton's best pitch is his hard stuff. He's also got a tough off-speed pitch.
Those numbers when Clark is hitting from each side, dramatic in their difference. Ricky Patalico up. He's getting loose. John Franco in his coach/player, or more player/coach role, standing behind Patalico. Little flare to center field. Shane Spencer perfectly positioned. And Stanton does the job out of the pen. And so it remains 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. So Fran Healy, as we move to the bottom of the 6th on this July 4th matinee, fans of the Mets starting to believe.
I don't blame him. The Mets right now, a couple games out of first place. Down in Florida, the Marlins in the Tampa Bay Devil Race, no score during a rain delay. And in Philadelphia, the Phillies have a 5-2 lead over Baltimore. The Mets be going to Philadelphia right after the game tonight.
Brett Prinz has come out of the pen for the Yankees in place of Javier Vazquez. Prinz, a 27-year-old right-hander who has not had a lot of success his last few outings. Pitched in Friday's Yankees loss here to the Mets. He allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs in 2 innings of work. Walked the only batter he faced in his previous appearance against the Red Sox. And in Game 2 of the day-night doubleheader last week at Yankee Stadium, allowed 2 hits and an earned run in 2 innings of work. Bernie Williams, the long run to left center field against Kaz Matsui, and there's 1 down. So Prince's job here is to keep it at 4-2 and give the Yankees bats a chance. Mets with a run in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Yankees with single runs in the third and the fifth.
Kaz Matsui might, because of this series, get an injection of confidence, and he can carry it into Philadelphia and then down to Miami in the big series coming up tomorrow and then next weekend.
He has been a puzzle without question, but I'm sure no more so than to himself. This is an established professional player. I understand that the major leagues are a step up without question, but he came here with a reputation. There's not a scout who saw him when the Mets were talking about signing him from other teams who did not agree that this was the proper move to make. And the adjustment period has probably been longer than either side, the player or the team, thought it would take. And maybe it's just here at the midway point it's starting to come around.
I think the big thing is coming over to the United States because, like the kids in this country, they dream about playing Major League Baseball to the point where Hideki Matsui, everybody was depressed when he decided to come to the United States. He said, you know what? I got to go. Kaz Matsui, the same thing. So now you come over here, it might be, you might have it bigger than it really is, so it takes a while to adjust. We'll see as Kaz Matsui moves along.
3-1 the count now to Zeal. Mel Stottlemyre on the phone to the Yankees bullpen. And that's a call strike on the outside corner. Zeal didn't like it.
Nice target by Posada. And borderline pitch.
Zeal had a terrific at-bat in the first inning. Singled with Matsui on the move. And Mets are on their way to their first run. There's a call, strike 3.
Well, Todd Zeal was unhappy with pitching for this, and you know what? This one here was borderline. And the borderline pitch yesterday went to John Franco, and in this at-bat, it didn't go to Todd Zeal.
So the motto is, take your bat to the plate and swing. Mike Piazza 0 for 2. Sacrifice fly, scored a run back in the first.
Talking about that all-star game week after next. Mike Piazza will be doing the catching.
Tom Glavine should join him there.
I would bet that Tom Glavine will be named to the team today as you look at Paul Quantrill.
1-1 to Piazza with 2 down. Fouls it straight back.
Ooh. Right into the owner's box next door. Fred Wilpon, I'm sure, made a good catch. That thing went right into that box.
It went in quickly, and just in case we were off a little bit, you were ducking a little to the left.
Yes, I was.
Smart man. As Piazza fouls it off down the right field line. Beautiful day here. What a great weekend we've had at Shea. A little rain at the start of Friday's game delayed the beginning, but after that, played through without a problem. And then yesterday and today have just been brilliant days. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball to left field. Matsui on the run, on the run, on the run. Puts it away. Piazza broke his bat on the play as Brett Prince comes in and gets the Mets in order. MSG Network and the Daily News. And a chance for you to win an HD TV grand prize. A special clue, 8 years of Subway Series coverage. As in MSG and the Daily News are proud to deliver our 8th consecutive year of Mets Yankees coverage. Entry forms available in today's edition of the Daily News, the Sunday version. Entries must be received by Friday at noon, so send them in right away. And be sure to include the special clue. Miguel Cairo to face Mike Stanton, who comes on for a second inning of work. Top half of the 7th inning, Matt Loughlin along with Fran Healy. Keith Hernandez will rejoin us for innings 8 and 9 as the Mets look for the sweep. Cairo, the pitcher's position, and Bernie Williams to face Stanton here in the 7th.
Cairo with the single in this ball game, swinging over that breaking ball from Mike Stanton.
were telling the story earlier today, Fran, about the amount of work that Miguel Cairo put into his off-season workout early in his career.
I think it's terrific. In fact, I'm surprised when players don't work like that during the offseason. You get yourself in great shape.
Kenny Loughlin on deck. He'll bat for Prince.
Most of the players today keep themselves in terrific shape. And they have the facilities to do so, and they're smart to take advantage of it. They'll last longer. Look at Barry Larkin. 40 years old. They say he's going to retire. He says he might not. Although, you know, with this All-Star game coming up, you wonder if somebody like Jack McKeon might bring Barry Larkin to the All-Star game.
Now the 0-2. Well, certainly Larkin's had a great year, and it would be a terrific honor in what may or may not be his last season. Joe Torre, there's Willie Randolph to his right, left-hand side of your screen. The Yankees have out-hit the Mets 8-6, but the scoreboard, in terms of the most important stat, favors the Mets. 4-2, they lead here in the top of the seventh. Ground ball through the hole into right field. Good piece of hitting there by Miguel Cairo. Hey fans, you could win $100,000 in the Hyundai Win-Win Sweepstakes. On Thursdays in July, Fox Sports Net will choose a baseball feat, like a grand slam. And if it happens and your name is drawn, you could win 100 grand. Enter at participating Hyundai dealerships through July 16th. Go to MSGNetwork.com for a list of participating dealers.
Kenny Loughlin will bat now with nobody out here in the top of the seventh inning. Cairo on first base can run, and so can Loughlin. Not like he used to, but he still has good speed. Loughlin has been a rent-a player for a few years, and he recently signed a 2-year deal with the Yankees during the offseason.
Needs 29 hits to reach 2,000. What a milestone that is, as Cairo is on at first.
At one time in the American League, for about 2 or 3 year period, players said that this was the best all-around player in the game.
He goes up the middle into center field. First pitch swinging by Kenny Loughlin, and the Yankees have the first 2 runners on here in the seventh.
So base hit up the middle by Kenny Loughlin, and with runners on first and second, Ricky Bottalico throwing in the bullpen, and Bernie Williams the batter. And what an afternoon he has had. He has a single, a solo home run. He has 2 singles and a solo home run and an RBI in the 5th inning with the single.
And the Yankees will allow Stanton to face Williams. Williams, a better hitter from the right side than the left. Bottalico warmed for the Mets. Swung on and missed. Again, the Yankees get the leadoff runner on. They've got the first 2 on.
See that last pitch, Bernie Williams swinging over the breaking ball that was breaking down and in. Cairo on second, Loughlin on first.
And Derek Jeter on deck. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Phillips. Stanton and Williams, of course, teammates at one time, so Stanton has not faced him often. He has 4 previous at-bats, does Williams against Stanton. He's gone 2 for 4 with a home run. A lot of statistics thrown at us anymore. Really what it comes down to is what the manager thinks his guy on the hill can do against the guy at the plate.
The statistics are only good to the players when they're good statistics. When they're bad, they don't want to hear about them.
Swung on and missed. 1-2 now on the fastball that Williams swings through.
And most of the stats that players don't know about is you see Bernie Williams swing over that pitch. Unless it's a huge body of work where you struggle against somebody, then you're aware of it.
Williams with 3 hits this afternoon.
just to check the runner at second base. If you can keep him a step closer to the base, on a hit to the outfield, you have a better chance of getting him at the plate. And Cairo can run. Backdoor breaking ball just missed.
Williams lays off it to even the count at 2-2.
Key to the backdoor breaking ball, get the hitter seat, you commit yourself, and at the last moment the ball breaks. If you get that plate, it's tough to handle because your hands have collapsed. Good shot from our camera upstairs.
Jeter will get a shot. Another breaking ball. This one goes to right center field. Spencer overfields it on a hop. Cairo being waved home. Moving behind the play down to second now is Williams, and he's thrown out.
Oh, that's part of break right there. Good throw. But it looked like Williams got in ahead of the throw. Let's just play again. I don't think Ty Wigginton knew quickly enough that he was going to the plate. Then the throw to second base. Well, he's out. Good call. Excellent call by the second base umpire. Here it is again. Ty Wigginton to throw to the plate. And Phillips coming up throwing. And an excellent call by Mike Riley. The umpire at second base as Bernie Williams stopped and then took off.
The throw came all the way through, but a bullet thrown by Phillips down to Matsui. And Williams realized he committed a boo-boo there. That'll do it for Stanton. And Williams, who comes up with the RBI, gets thrown out trying to move to second on the throw home. Stanton's work is done. Ricky Patalico has come on. The Mets holding on to a one-run lead. Sports net, the Mets hit the road to battle Jim Thome and the Phillies. Geico Mets on deck comes your way at 6:30. And the Mets and Phils take the field at 7 tomorrow night on Fox Sports Net. Ricky Patalico in his 25th game for the Mets comes on here to face Derek Jeter with one down and a runner at third. The Mets have moved the infield in.
And this is a good hitting situation for Jeter. He is an excellent contact hitter, and he's been on fire lately. And you got to give him something to hit because of the guy on deck. Gary Sheffield.
Pair of infield hits for Jeter. Mets lead 4-3. Yankees scoring one here in the 7th and threatening for more as Patalico goes up high. It's 2-0. Yankee brain trust looking on. Jeter still showing the effects from that terrific play he made on Thursday at Yankee Stadium. He goes up the middle and the game is tied.
Scored on that base hit, but Derek Jeter, who the people were worried about him early in the year, and he said not to worry, he can play. Picks up a base hit in the center field, driving in a tie and run. He's a good contact hitter. Just the nature of his swing makes him a good contact hitter. Good contact hitter because he waits on the ball so well. You gotta watch this guy.
Well, that's what the Mets have to be concerned with here. Patalico now has to settle down, not groove one, because if he does, this man can take it deep. Batting .299 is Gary Sheffield. 13 homers, 53 runs batted in.
And he makes contact. He has that violent swing, but with a great deal of contact.
Jeter at first, one down. Mets looking for two. Breaking ball down the left field line. Hooking foul.
Gary Sheffield just got out in front a little bit too much, hit the ball off the end of the bat. When Gary came out of high school, his dream was to play college football. Went down and watched University of Miami scrimmage. He looked at Greg Vaughn, who was also with him, and said, you know what? We can get hurt playing this game. And he signed with the Milwaukee Brewers. He was an outstanding halfback in high school.
Hidalgo, plenty of room. Jeter plays it about halfway. Moves to first, and there's 2 down. So 2 down as Metallico gets a big hitter and faces an even bigger hitter.
Well, and the thing you're always concerned about with Alex Rodriguez is he's struggling, and when does the struggle stop? You would like to have it continue to tomorrow.
Felix Heredia will come on in the bottom of the 7th. Mike Stanton disappointed as he looks on from the bench. First pitch, a call strike. Rodriguez 0 for 2 with the walk. Well, the Yankees finally able to take advantage of leadoff runners on. They've done that the majority of this game, but the Mets playing some good defense behind Jae-Young So. It's a double play back in the 2nd, a double play in the 3rd after leadoff runners had reached. But caught stealing after Williams led off the game with a base hit. But here the Yankees have played it 2 as Hideki Matsui hopes for a shot. Del Cairo looking on, got it going with a base hit to right field. Now the 1-1. Swung on and missed. A-Rod went down for it, Fran.
Well, right here, A-Rod swinging right over that pitch. Good ball movement from Ricky Metallico. A-Rod with 50 RBIs now and 19 home runs.
Sellout crowd, rhythmic clapping. Mets fans looking for a strikeout. Yankee fans looking for something more. This is what this rivalry has come to mean. As Al Leiter told us in the pregame show, bragging rights around the water cooler for each team's fans. Ground ball. Stopped by Zeal. The long throw. He's got him. Todd Zeal ranges to his left, makes the diving stop, and A-Rod is retired. But the Yankees do score 2 in the top of the 7th, and they tie things up at 4 on July 4th. Let's send it to PA announcer Alex Anthony.
Gene Monahan, longtime trainer with the New York Yankees.
A little grimace there for A-Rod, too. Obviously, one of the swings in his last at-bat causing him some pain as he grounded out to Todd Zeal to end the inning, but the Yankees did score 2, and so we're tied at 4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Felix Heredia will take on Cliff Floyd here in the 7th inning. Floyd having a tough afternoon. 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts.
Hidalgo and Spencer to follow, and the first pitch is on the corner for a strike. Heredia in his 22nd game, appeared in yesterday's game. Faced 1 batter, Floyd, and hit him.
Take a look at A-Rod's last at-bat. We'll see if he injured his side swinging at bat. You know what? It looked like he did give up. Yeah, look right there. He grabs it. Took him at a strained a muscle on the right side.
Jeter was playing over a few steps, so perfectly positioned to handle that one. And there's 1 down.
That was a nice shot of Jeter with soft hands. The right fielder. Ball came up a little bit. Jeter was as low as you can get. They tell the infielder, get as low to the ground as you can get. It's easier to come up. And he shows it right there than it is to go down. Ball came up into the belt area, and he was able to smother it.
So quickly 1 down, and Hidalgo comes to the plate. He's been on base all 3 times. Hit by a pitch in the 1st, walked and scored in the 3rd, and then singled and was erased on a fielder's choice in the 5th.
Well, once again, these 2 teams are going at it in an exciting ball game. Subway Series is alive and well, especially in New York. The Subway Series is in New York. Everything else is a cab, isn't it?
grabs a trolley.
Yeah.
The Bart series doesn't quite work.
But it's amazing how some people thought that it might be losing a little bit of its pizzazz. Sold out every game. The fans are really into this.
Hidalgo fouls it back.
And then when this is over, you get back to reality.
Yeah, divisional play.
It's amazing.
With first place on the line. No matter what happens here today, and the Phils are leading Baltimore in the 7th, 5-2. The Mets will have a chance playing the Phils the next 4 games to come out of Philadelphia in first place.
And Matsui might have an injection of confidence going to Philadelphia because of his series here.
2-1, and Hidalgo lays off.
Hidalgo certainly has, since he's been with the Mets, he's as confident as you can be the way he's swinging the bat.
Came from Houston for David Weathers and Jeremy Griffiths. Fly ball! Another home run for Richard Hidalgo! And the Mets take a 5-4 lead.
Well, we talk about that trade. They're going to be getting to Jim Duquette a lot of high fives. Brian Cashman's got to be very impressed, but he's not going to give Jim Duquette a high five. But Richard Hidalgo hit his 11th home run. He is on fire.
7 home runs now in his first 15 games as a Met.
Look at this. Bang! Hits it over that left field bench, right over that game vision sign, into the bullpen. The reaction in the dugout where Hidalgo swinging like he's playing, I don't know what, it's not in Major League Baseball. He's making it look easy. T-ball.
Well, we spoke with him on Geico Mets on Deck, and he used the word happy about 9 times in 3 answers. And you know what? When the game is coming as easily as it seems to be coming to him now, yeah, you'll be happy. Spencer goes down looking, not liking the call, maybe calls plural of CB Buckner.
And take a look at that last pitch to Shane Spencer. Pretty good pitch. And he's called out. So 2-minute gone, but Richard Hidalgo is on fire. He just hit another home run, his 11th home run of the season, and he's given the Mets a 1-run lead.
So the stadium quiets momentarily as Jason Phillips comes to bat. Phillips had a good day at the plate, walked and scored with a sacrifice fly to drive home a run and singled his last at bat.
So Jason Phillips, who's hitting .214, has come up with some big blows. I'm sure the average is driving him crazy. Orber Moreno out in the bullpen throwing.
And Heredia way outside, so it's 3-0 with Ty Wigginton on deck. And the cheer you hear is because the ball was thrown back to Heredia well past him. Well, Hidalgo catching his breath on the bench. That's a call strike. Rick Peterson, Art Howe conferring on what they're going to do pitching wise to nurse this lead. Tommy Glavine, he'll pitch tomorrow night. Paul Abbott, the scheduled Philadelphia starter. Mike Piazza, the shades on. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Stays alive, does Jason Phillips.
Here, talk about the excitement that this series has generated this weekend. Great game yesterday, another real good game today, and he's one of the reasons why. Richard Hidalgo, if you just tuned in, you missed his home run about 2 minutes ago.
Giving the Mets the 5-4 lead after the Yankees struck for 2 in the top of the 7th. Popped it up. Should be an easy play for Cairo. And that'll do it for the Mets in the home half of the 7th. But Richard Hidalgo playing long ball once again. Afternoon fireworks on July 4th. And the Mets have a 5-4 lead after 7.
Well, the Mets have a 1-run lead as we go to the top of the 8th, and a new pitcher, Orber Moreno. But that guy there, they're going to bring him to Wall Street because his stock is on the rise. Their stock is on the rise. Is brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. He's as hot as any stock on Wall Street. Look at those numbers in today's ball game.
I'm buying.
Boy, he was so...
Gosh. It's incredible what he's doing.
Oh.
It's incredible.
And again, you can't say enough about that trade that the Mets and Jim Duquette pull off to bring Richard Hidalgo to New York. And so far, it's really paid off. So Moreno is the pitcher. Matsui is the hitter. There's a strike.
Well, Moreno here probably to go 1 inning, Fran, and then Looper to follow up. Mets 6 outs away from a sweep of the Yankees that would send them on their way to Philadelphia tomorrow for a big 4-game series.
Hit the target, but it was a ball, so it's 1-1.
Well, something's wrong with A-Rod here, and I think in that swing, oh, it looks like it's underneath a hip or
might have been the
rib cage.
Yeah.
You never know.
Gene Monahan, trainer with the New York Yankees, talking to Alex, and now it's a 2-1 count on Matsui, who walked and flied to center field, and he picked up a blow in his game. There's Jorge Posada.
Orber Moreno has a good fastball.
And Matsui drives the ball. It's a gap. Matsui on his way to second base, and he'll cruise in with a stand-up double.
Well, this game is shaping up like yesterday's seesaw affairs. Both teams not dying. And that's a fastball out over the plate, and that is just good hitting, level swing, hitting the ball where it's pitched. Right into the gap, leadoff double. Perfect for the Yankees. And the Yankees have showed what they're made of today. They've been the team that has had to come back.
Oh, they're tough.
Well, Posada right here is going to look for something to pull, obviously.
Jorge Posada, the batter. He's got 34 RBIs. You see the defense set up for Posada. He'll be followed by Tony Clark.
Well, Moreno's first appearance, Fran, when he came back off the disabled list was June 27th. At the tender elbow.
He's up high to Posada. Posada, one of the best catchers in the game today. Mike Piazza, of course, with the record for home runs by a catcher in his career. Posada, a home run hitter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Down and in. Nice pick by Jason Phillips.
Nice play by Phillips there. A big play. Don't want the runner advancing there. Got in front and blocked that ball.
And Tony Clark on deck.
Mets playing slightly to pull with Posada. Wigginton at second base is out in the outfield grass. Tom Gordon up in the bullpen for the Yankees.
Misses with the heater.
Would you bunt Tony Clark if he walks Posada?
I would bunt Tony Clark, but I'd let him hit 3-0 right now.
I would give him. He's been slumping. I'd give him a take and let him swing 3-1. I would definitely bunt Clark.
One swing of the bat with this guy, Keith, and they could have the lead. He was taken all the way.
Geez, 3-0 slider. Did you see that?
Does that tell you something?
3-0 slider in a good spot. And Posada was taking.
Obviously, there's Don Mattingly.
Back in uniform.
3-1, so it was a 3-0 slider. So the Mets felt he was swinging also. There's a line drive, base hit center field. Here comes Matsu. Here comes the throw, not in time. We're all tied up again.
Well, you can see the frustrated look on Arnhaus' face. Another fastball out over the plate. We saw Jason Phillips set up inside. Got it right down the outer half. Piazza there for the cutoff. That's freezing the runner, and Matsui's going to score here. And this is turning into another terrific game.
We're all tied at 5.
Do you bunt?
I bunt him.
I might let him swing now.
You know, that's a good point. From left side of play, I let him hit because he's been on fire from the left side of play.
Absolutely, and the game is tied.
Yeah. If you could turn him around.
If it was Miguel Cairo, then you bunt.
But the way, as hot as he's been, I'd let him hit. Especially from that side of the plate. Oh, 1 on Clark. Pulls the string.
2 straight changeups.
So what do you think the book is on Tony Clark?
Well, we know he's a dead fastball hitter. And not a good. There's Jose Parra, who I think has been kind of lost in the shuffle with that trade. This guy's done a terrific job for the Mets out of the bullpen.
Got him. So Moreno comes back against Clark. 1 down.
Well, 3 straight changeups. Go sit down. In a very good spot. And Clark's all over the plate. Crowding the plate.
And the batter now will be Miguel Cairo. Saw right there what he did today. Jason Giambi, who's been ill, is in the dugout. Probably will hit. That's a strike. 0-1 on Cairo.
Ruben Sierra in the on-deck circle. And the Yankees have such depth. Just those 2 shots, and there's their Mel Stottlemyre. But we just showed you 2 people in their dugout, Jason Giambi and Ruben Sierra. What depth coming off the bench.
Really
Kenny Lofton off the bench. What depth.
The 0-1 pitch is up high to Cairo, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Another full house at Shea. So now Sierra's going to sit down, and Giambi is coming out on deck.
Well, if there's no lefty up out in the bullpen, just pick your poison here, really. I mean, they both are good left-hand hitters. It's the manager's choice, and Joe's going to opt with Giambi.
They check Posada at first base. Mets need the double play. Parra continues to throw in the pin. Cairo takes down low. Cairo with 3 home runs. He's got 8 doubles and he has scored 18 runs. Moreno trying to keep the ball down in the strike zone to induce the ground ball. Look at the hands way down. Check.
I don't think Posada's going anywhere. My goodness.
Although the sign comes from the dugout.
If it's a hit and run, not necessarily all of them, Fran. I mean,
A lot of young pitchers.
I know it's a hit and run count, but the runner is not going to get picked off on a hit and run. He's going to make sure that he breaks after the ball pitcher breaks, and there was the hit and run.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, a lot of the signs of whether it's a step up, even the slide step.
But even if you think it's going to be a hit and run, then you could throw a pitch out. There's death right there where the Yankees get a lead.
One of the greatest relief pitchers ever to play the game. You see Phillips looking into the dugout. No flash the signs now with Posada on first base, 2-2 count on Cairo. Hard Howe. And the Mets trying to sweep the Yankees. 14 hits in this game for the Yanks, 7 for the Mets. All tied at 5. Ground ball, and it hits the runner. How about that? Jorge Posada is hit by the ground ball.
Oh my!
What a break!
Goodness.
He's out of the base path. They tag him. He's out of the base path. Okay, just in case they tagged him. Joe Torre's going out to discuss this. He'll discuss it with the first base umpire, Eric Cooper. Second base umpire, Mike Riley.
Is he saying, is Joe saying that it was off Piazza's glove and that didn't hit the runner?
Whatever they're saying,
he's
out.
That's what they think.
He's out.
Let's find out right here. Piazza, let's see what happens.
Why Posada stop?
Oh, please. It clearly hit Posada. Yeah. And that is just bad base running on Posada's part. That ball through the infield.
Here's a huge break for the Mets.
There's no way. Look at Wigginton over there in the right side of your screen. No way he gets to this ball. Just out of the reach of Piazza. Oh, man. We've seen tons of mistakes in this game.
Here it is again. It gets past Piazza. It hits Posada.
So that's a base hit.
And that was a good shot from our camera downstairs. You can see Posada looking at the ball. So he had a full view of that ball.
Why did Posada stop and freeze? The ball's on the ground. The only reason why you would stop if it's a line drive and it might be caught. Why? The ball's clearly on the ground. You run.
It's been a while since we've seen this.
I mean, it's hard to believe.
This series has had everything. So now there's another discussion between Mike Riley, the second base umpire, and C.B. Bucknor. Is being played under protest? Being played under protest, I think.
Yes. But what could he possibly protest here?
I mean, they tagged him out anyway. He went out of the base path. You have to get direction from the umpire that you're out before you leave the base path anyways. Once you're out of the base path, they went over and they tagged him. Another look.
Posada, I mean, this is a quicker shot here. But it's inexplicable that Posada would freeze on a ground ball. You run.
So Posada's out. I'm assuming the game is being played under protest.
And I believe that Joe will lose this protest.
It's a single and a putout for Mike Piazza, the first baseman. And this play will be talked about if the Mets come back and win this ballgame. Jason Giambi will be the batter with 2 outs. Another wild contest between the Mets and the Yankees, all taking place this weekend at Shea.
Well, what a break for the Mets.
And they just announced the protest, so Joe Torre playing the game under protest. What's next? Stay with us on MSG Network. Jason Giambi is the bat we mentioned earlier. He is fighting a problem with the parasite. It's sapped his strength. Cairo can run. He's on first. Giambi, ball gets by Phillips. And the throw to second, not in time.
Great hustle, Cairo again. Cairo scoring back, Fran, in the 7th inning on hustling. And here gets a terrific, this is the pass ball here.
Oh, yeah.
That is a pass ball. Oh. And that ball is not that far away from Jason Phillips. And that is just aggressive base running.
So, Jason Phillips, he was screaming at himself after he threw the ball at second base. The ball just popped out of the webbing of his glove. Giambi in a huge at-bat takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. You got to get Giambi. You don't want number 51 on deck, Bernie Williams. You look at the defense.
Well, that's a big gap out there. And I mean, Giambi, now Spencer's moving over. I was going to say, why is he playing straight away? Giambi likes to pull the ball. I'd like to move him over more in the gap.
There's a strike. Now let me ask you, Keith, if your strength is sapped by the parasite, would you tend to pull the ball?
I don't know. I've never had a parasite before. Fran, I can't answer that question.
Because that's when you talk about the defense setting up, you got to take that into consideration as Bernie Williams is on deck.
Well, they've got a big shift in the infield, Fran.
Yeah,
so,
look at Wigginton.
So move the outfield in that direction too.
And he pulls it hard, foul. That answers the question. Didn't sap his strength that much.
And you can see the right side of the infield. Ty Wigginton is way out in right field, taking the hole away. There's Ty out here. Matsui. So it's this is a McCovey shift here. It's Williams too. But the outfield is not shifted as such.
Listen to Shea. Look at the numbers. Direction of outfield hits. Dead pull hitter when healthy. Half the fans at Shea are on their feet. The other half are sitting. 2-2 pitch. Got him! What a ball game. We're all tied as we go to the bottom of the 8th at Shea Stadium in Flushing, New York. Well, what does 15 years get you in the big leagues? You asked Tom Gorman, who just came in this ball game. It's 5-5, and we got a terrific ball game here at Shea. Look at his numbers. 15+ years in the big leagues for this right-hander.
He's done a terrific job for this team. Talked to Jim Cott, my old teammate, announcer for the Yankees. He said that Quantrill and Gordon, I mean, everybody talks about A-Rod, the move to get A-Rod. He said that Quantrill and Gordon have been the unsung heroes. They've been the biggest addition to this ball club. He's stabilized the bullpen.
Here's an unsung hero in this game, Ty Wigginton. He hit a home run in the 2nd inning. Mike Piazza.
Well, they're just talking it over right there. That ball did not hit him. It hit the runner. Joe hasn't got a leg to stand on, I'm afraid. Sorry to say, but.
Wigginton! One drive! That baby's out of here!
This is incredible.
This is a great game. Wigginton with 2 home runs in this game.
Well, Ty Wigginton here gets a hanging curveball. We all know Tom Gordon has a great hook, but he put this one on a platter for him.
Whether you're a Yankee fan or a Met fan, this has been a great game. Yesterday, very exciting. Eric Valent takes a strike.
Oh, here's the pitch. It's a curve. Oh my gosh, it's a helicopter right down the pipe. Belt high.
It's 6-5 in the 8th. Popped up. A-Rod will run out of room. So Ty Wigginton, who just missed his 2nd home run a couple innings ago, for the first time, hits another home run, his 2nd home run of the ball game, and a reaction by Tom Gorman.
Well, and there's the Met reaction on the bench. Well, these are exciting ball games and uplifting games. 3 outs to be had, though. And you know this man's coming in.
Braden Looper getting ready. Up high to Valent. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Excuse me.
Takes inside, so it's 2-2. We got Kaz Matsui and Deco. How about just mention him as an unsung hero today?
Been trade talks swirling around him. They're going to call up the young man from AAA, David Wright, the 3rd baseman. Is he going to get traded to Pittsburgh for Benson?
And then in Cincinnati, they were talking about the possibility of Ty Wigginton going to the Reds. And when they mentioned to Ty Wigginton that the team might bring up David Wright shortly, he said, why don't they bring him up and have him back me up? I love it. But there's a lot of talk about Ty Wigginton as time goes on, moving to first base. So many Yankee fans on hand here at Shea.
Oh, they're having a baby right now. They're so upset.
It's full count on Eric Valent. As Matt Loughlin said, he was in the stands, and fans, both Yankees and Mets, are handling it well.
Uh-oh.
He's serious. Give me a bat, he's saying.
There's the right attitude.
That's right. Pulled foul. Well, when Art Howe juggled his pitching staff to remove Tom Glavine and Al Leiter from starting this series, a lot of people felt that Art Howe was saying, you know, let the Yankees have the games.
There's no joy in Bronxville.
Great shots.
Our cameramen got it covered, don't they?
They do. Full count. Ball 4. So Valent walks. That'll bring up Kaz Matsui.
Would you bunt here?
Yes.
I would.
Yes.
Darn right. Get an insurance run.
Pad the lead.
Yep. It guarantees getting Piazza up. Even if they walk him, it doesn't matter. It guarantees you getting through 3 good hitters in Zeal, Piazza, and Floyd. Don't cry.
He's saying it's not over.
It isn't over till it's over, and that's a fact.
Great line coined by a great man, Yogi Berra, Hall of Famer, who managed both the Mets and the Yankees. Kaz Matsui, Zeal to follow. And Piazza down in the hole. He bunts it foul.
Bunts it off his foot. Thank goodness he was in the batter's box. And there's the bunt, and it gets off. Thank goodness he was on in the batter's box. And this is a situation too with Cameron on the bench and the bad knee. You can't pinch run. I'd be a little inclined to put Joe McEwing in there as a pinch runner, get a little more speed.
Well, Matsui's going to square the bunt again. Well, Eric Valent, I don't think is slower for him.
No, but I think that McEwing is faster.
Yeah. Art Howe looking on.
Seesaw game again, my goodness.
Matsui bunts it foul, so it's 0-2 now. Do you go right down the line?
I keep the bunt on.
Go right down the line, huh?
This is critical to get the runner advanced. I'm sorry, and he's a good bunter. You get the job done.
It's 0-2. He puts the ball in play back to Gordon. They go to second for 1. That's all they'll get. As Jeter knew who was going down that baseline and prudently held on to the ball.
Well, the Mets.
The third baseman.
How about a graphic that reads like that?
How about that? Most home runs over any 7-game span in the history of the Mets. How about that? Those two guys providing all the power. Half of the home runs. So Doggle 6. Wigginton 4.
And Wigginton just missed one early.
Yes, he did.
In the ball game.
Yes, he did.
Second at bat.
Wait, put a hit and run on here.
There are the runs. Read it. If you're a Mets fan, you're very happy because it's 6-5. Now the Mets have been out hit by 7 hits, 15-8. Nobody has left this ballpark.
The Yankees, of all their hits, have only left really 7 men on base. There's been a couple double plays turned by the Mets that got them out of trouble. And this is a good hit and run situation here with Todd Zeal. He didn't get the bunt down. Do something else, make it happen. And as the count gets more favorable, you can put it. You have more confidence to put it on.
There's the big guy on deck, Mike Piazza, on 4th of July. Hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend wherever you are. Fans here at Shea. Tom Gordon pitching to Todd Zeile with 1 out. Up and in.
Well, you let him hit swing here, or he'd get a good pitch to hit. He can look for his pitch and try to drive it. And I'd be smiling too if I had a 2-home-run day.
He'll be mad on his way home because he missed that 3rd one. Inside. So it's full count on Todd Zeile. What do you do? He's going to get the best pitch in the sequence.
He's got to take with the big guy coming up behind him. I'm sorry.
Okay.
With Piazza and Floyd behind, he's got to take. Got to take. Now 3-1. Would you send Matsui?
I might send Matsui 3-0.
I'd send him 3-1.
There's a strike.
Now he's got a good pitch to hit here. It's a guy that knows how to handle the bat. Hits line drives. Matsui's on his horse right now.
By the way, 3-0, rarely does a pitcher throw to first base. They assume nobody's running.
That's true. That's a good point. Very good point, Fran. And they're more concentrating on throwing a strike. That's a very good point.
But nobody does it. It's 3-1 now. Another running situation. Matsui holding his ground, and Zeile takes a strike.
I think Zeile wanted to give him a chance. I don't understand that. I would not want to see Todd taking here. Was he looking in? We don't know what's going on in his head.
It looked like he was taking all the way.
Well, that's a good pitch to hit up and out over the plate, wasn't it?
Especially the way Todd can hit that ball right field. Kaz Matsui should be on the move, 3-2. Or are they concerned about first base being open for Piazza? We have Floyd behind him.
Well, I was waiting for Todd to step out there. Gordon taking usually long period of time between that pitch. Look at this guy. Hang with him.
There's a division in that family if it's a family. Strike 3 call, throw off line, and Matsui steals the base.
Did you see Mike Riley, the umpire? He had to hit the deck. The ball almost clocked him on the throw.
It's getting dangerous, Mike.
This is the backup curveball that fooled Zeile. Now watch this. Look right. Oh, look! Watch out.
You know, it's funny, Keith. If Posada made contact with Todd Zeile, it'd have been interference.
It would have been interference
because he walked right in front of him. Well, we're going to check out Kaz Matsui to find out if he got hurt down there at second base.
And here comes Trainer. Let's see the ankle here. A little bit of a turn. Yep. Oh, boy. Yep. Kind of just came in too hard into that base. Well, open base. Here's the strike on Zeile, the overhead shot. Boy, it's close. It's awful close.
Now, Todd Zeile walked in front of Posada. But they didn't make contact, so no interference call.
You've got to pitch. Haven't got a left-hander. The Yankees do not have a left-hander down there in the bullpen. You've got to pitch to Piazza here, righty. You can't. This is the importance of having a left-right. Piazza's afforded the protection now, and they're going to walk him. How about that?
So they're going to go after Cliff Floyd with the right-hander. They probably asked Tom Gorman, what do you want to do? And the right-hander said, I'll walk Piazza. And Gordon decides to walk Piazza and throw to Cliff Floyd. Runners will be on first and second. It'll be Gordon against Floyd.
Well, Piazza's only faced Gordon twice. 1 for 2 with a home run. Floyd has had 3 at-bats off Gordon, 0 for 3.
Yankee fans in attendance today, along with Met fans, and nobody has left this stadium. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the fans are waiting for things to happen. So Cliff Floyd will be the batter. Now Joe McEwing is in the ball game, pinch running for Mike Piazza. There's Joe. So they got very good speed on the bases. Matsui on second, McEwing at first. Good speed at the plate. And Floyd gets jammed, and Cairo makes the grab. But here in the bottom of the 8th inning on this beautiful 4th of July day, Ty Wigginton providing fireworks. The Mets have a 1-run lead as we go to the top of the 9th. Dugout probably, Keith, about being hit with that bouncing ball. Take a look at the rule.
The rule is 7.08F. Any runner is out when he is touched by a fair ball in fair territory before the ball has touched or past an infielder. So Torrey's saying the ball was past Piazza, which is correct.
Yes.
Here's the play. Piazza does not get a glove on this, but clearly Posada is behind Piazza, the fielder. So the true interpretation of that rule, which I think it's crazy. I think if the ball hits a runner, it's automatically out.
And it's funny because the umpires did have a conversation with Joe Torre. So it's all about their interpretation. And that rule book is like deciphering the Rosetta Stone. You can find different interpretations, and the umpires explained their interpretation of Joe Torre and upheld the ruling. Well, Braden Looper's in, so is Jose Reyes. Tony Clark's the batter. Wigginton moved over to third from second. Todd Zeal has moved to first. So Bernie Williams, who's on fire, leads it off. Gets a bounce and a race. 1 down.
Well, I'll tell you what, for Braden Looper right here, this first year, he has just been nothing but superb for the Mets. This is the biggest save of the season for him so far. This is a very critical game. There's Rivera getting ready just in case.
You just tuned in, you missed a whale of a ball game. A lot of excitement on both sides, and the Yankees and the Mets provided a great deal of anxiety for their fans and a lot of excitement. There are a lot of Yankee fans and a lot of Met fans, and nobody, maybe a couple people, but not many. Yankee fans staring on, looking for a run. It's Derek Jeter against Braden Looper now. And like you said earlier in the game, Keith, any one of these guys can pop that ball over the wall.
And they can bunch their hits too. You don't have to, as a hitter right now, say, go up there and say, I've got to hit a home run. You've got guys hitting behind you.
You got Sheffield behind Jeter. Jeter gets jammed. Matsui.
There's Jay So, the starter in this game, and Gary Sheffield is up here. The Mets are 1 out away from a sweep of the Yankees. Sheffield 2 for 12 lifetime against Looper.
What a matchup. Jay So fans are into it. The script is being written as we watch. Looper misses outside. Joe Torre and the Yanks playing this baby under protest. Sheffield takes ball 2. Everybody now on their feet, including Jorge Posada, who was hit by that bouncing ball.
Well, you know Sheffield, the hitter he is. He's looking for something to hit out here. He's been around long enough. Would you give a hit sign? I will. With A-Rod?
I'd give it to him. The way he can swing that bat.
Okay.
You give him 3 good swings.
If you did, I couldn't second guess you.
Yankees looking on. A-Rod getting ready. There's a strike. Sheffield not happy with the call. Mike Messina looking on.
They're all motor to the umpires. You can just see it. These guys are terrible at saying.
3-1 on Sheffield. Foul ball. Full count.
I would not throw a breaking ball here, Fran. I just run a hard sinker on and to get it under the bat. Don't take a chance of hanging one.
And how about these reaction shots? And how about the crowd? They're all on their feet. They're all clapping. And you know, half of them want to hit, half of them want an out. And there's a base hit in the center field. So, Sheffield's on first. Now you got to take on A-Rod, who has been struggling in this series.
Well, the Yankees won't go quietly into the night, into the afternoon here. Rodriguez, his own A-Rod's only had one prior at bat against Looper, and that's an offer. So advantage Looper.
That's a ball. It's been a wild afternoon in Flushing. Ground ball to third. Wigginton got him in second. Ball game is over. It was only fitting for Wigginton to catch that ball and get the last out. A full house came to see a good ball game. Whether you're a Yankee fan or a Mets fan, it was a heck of a game. So the Mets had the broom out and they swept the Yankees. That's a happy group right there, Keith.
Well, he's not happy, but he'll get over it.
Jay Saw tipping his cap to his fans here. A lot more to come from Shea Stadium on MSG Network. This is our town. New York Mets at MSG Network. The signs are out, the broom was out. So the Yankees come into Shea and the Mets sweep them 3 straight.
The Yankees come in off a sweep of Boston and come around to Flushing and get swept back.
Take a look at Gary Sheffield right there. And how about the sweep, Keith? There's some interesting notes.
First sweep of a Yankee series in 14 regular seasons. Look at the runs the Mets are scoring. That was a problem earlier. Now they're scoring runs, they're hitting. Hidalgo, a big part of that.
Oh, how about Ty Wigginton? Now you stay with us. Plenty more to come from Shea Stadium. But before we break for a commercial, we're going to go downstairs. The broom was out. Matt Loughlin has a piece of the broom, and he has a guy who did some sweeping. Matty?
Well, just an unbelievable series here at Shea Stadium. The Mets do complete the sweep. Ty Wigginton with 2 big home runs helping the Mets to the sweep. And you look rather stoic for someone who's just helped this team complete its first ever sweep of the Yankees.
It definitely feels good. There's a very good ball club over there in the other clubhouse. And, you know, we just got some good pitching. We came through with some timely hitting when we needed it. And we got the W.
All right, Tom Gordon isn't beating all that off, and you got all of this one.
He left me a slider over the plate or a little cutter or something, and I was able to get the good part of the bat on the ball and get it out of here. It was a tough wind over there in left field, so I wasn't so sure when I first hit it.
Well, it was 1 of 2, the second of your 2 home runs. The fans showing the sign that you got to believe that was our Mohegan moment. So what do you make of what's transpired for this club over the last several days? You'll go down to Philadelphia now, breathing down the Phil's neck.
Definitely. This is the time we need to turn it on. We got 2 guys in our own division in Florida and Philadelphia, and we got to put our attention on them, and hopefully these 3 W's here carry over into that series.
Ty, I thought that the clubhouse was very relaxed this morning. I know the players got here a little late. Art said, you know, we're not going to take BP so you can get some sleep. There didn't seem to be a sense that this was the Yankees you were playing, that this was a chance to sweep? It seemed more to be a sense of we're just going to try to play some good ball. It's just a regular game. Is it simply a regular game?
It is to the point where they're not in our division, but also it's the Yankees, and they're right across town, and it's nice for the fans, and we want to get the W for our fans.
All right, you get the W today, and it's on to Philadelphia. One quick question before we let you go. Your view on that play down at first where Posada's hit by the ball. What were the umpires discussing? The game has been protested by the Yankees. What did you see? What did they say?
I don't really know what they protested. I just saw the ball hit Posada, and that means dead ball, and he's out, and Carroll gets a knock for it.
And you tagged out Posada anyway?
Yeah, Kaz did.
Oh, it was Kaz did. All right, so he was tagged out anyway. We'll see whether or not the play is, in fact, upheld, the protest upheld. But the Mets come away with the victory, and Ty Wigginton, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Ty Wigginton with 2 big blasts, a 2-run shot, and the solo home run that gives the Mets the victory as they hold on for the sweep here at Shea Stadium. A sellout crowd on hand here in Flushing. The Mets have now won 4 straight, and they'll head to Philadelphia with some wind in their sails. No question about that, fellas.
All right, Matty, you saw some shots of Yankee fans. I'm sure the Mets tipped their hat to the Yankees and the Yankees to the Mets. We're going to come back, but that's the final. It was a whale of a ball game from Shea.
Get ready, New York. The battle for the Big Apple is back. And no one brings you complete coverage like MSG Sports Desk. Interviews, insights, game recap, and highlights. All 3 games, all weekend. MSG Sports Desk, only on MSG Network. The action continues on Fox Sports Net. Reyes leads the Mets attack against Jim Thome and the Phillies. Mets, Phillies, tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports.
Well, that's the final score from Shea Stadium in Flushing, New York. It was a wild series. 6-5, the final. Ty Wigginton, 2 home runs in this game. Richard Hidalgo stays red hot. And Keith Hernandez, if you're a Met fan or a Yankee fan, you got to love this ball game today.
Well, the whole series was wonderful. Great games. Last night was a terrific game, a seesaw game, and we had one again today, Fran.
And we mentioned Richard Hidalgo. I mean, he's just smoking the ball. And again, you get back to that trade, it lifted the organization.
Well, I think 2 things have happened. We talked about it during the game. The return of Jose Reyes. He didn't play today. He came in late as a defensive replacement. He's not hitting, but he has been a spark. But Hidalgo certainly has been the key, the bat that the Mets have needed in the first 15 games. My goodness, he's been wearing it out.
I got to believe that everybody who follows the Mets, when they heard that Art Howe was changing the pitching rotation to focus on Philadelphia and the Marlins, people had to say, you know what, they're going to have trouble beating the Yankees. What do you think?
Well, I think the furthest thing from everybody's mind was going to be a sweep, but they give credit to the Mets. The Mets have fought back in all the games here in Flushing to get the sweep. The bullpen did the job when it had to do the job, and this was just a great ball game going back and forth. The Yankees showed their character by coming back and eventually losing today. Yesterday, it was the Mets that came back.
And I mentioned Richard Hidalgo, that trade that happened a couple weeks ago. He's been on fire, and today he continued, Keith.
Well, this is the 7th inning here, and he gets a fastball up on the inner half of the plate, and he just launched this ball into the bullpen, the Yankee bullpen, and my goodness, that was just, a 7th home run in 15 games since joining the Mets?
Yeah, and he's been swinging a very hot bat and playing some good defense also.
Well, they knew when they got Hidalgo that they was not getting just a one-dimensional player, an offensive player, even though they needed the bat. They were also getting someone with a very, very strong arm, a very good defensive outfielder. And now when Cameron comes back, the outfield is no longer a problem now. You have it set. You've got 3 solid outfielders out there, something the Mets have not had in a long time. And with Kareem Garcia and Spencer, they have depth in the outfield.
And what about third base?
Well, what about third base, Fran? He played second today. Ty Wigginton was just fantastic. Was moved to third base late in the game. And here's the home run off Tom Gordon, and that was a hanging curveball, and that was the game winner. You see Ty's numbers.
In our Toyota game summary. Now, keep in mind, the reason I said third base is because there's been a lot of talk about David Wright coming to the big leagues. If he does, will Ty Wigginton move to first? We'll see. Look at the numbers for Ty Wigginton: 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and Bernie Williams had a big afternoon. Richard Hidalgo, another good afternoon. But it's funny because we talked about during the game, David Wright's name has been mentioned. He is tearing up the minor leagues. I'm sure the Mets are excited about somehow getting him to the big leagues. What do you do?
Well, I think that with Ty Wigginton doing the wonderful job that he's doing, that you don't have to press and make a rash decision. Let him stay down in AAA as long as Ty Wigginton's doing a great job contributing like he has all year. Let the young guy down there play a season in AAA. He started the season in AA. It's a big jump. He's a young kid. You don't want to rush him. Ty Wigginton's been doing a fine job keeping the ball, keep him in the starting lineup.
Now, we talked about how Art Howe changed the starting rotation. Jay So pitched today. He looked good.
Well, he got himself in a lot of trouble, but, you know, he doesn't knuckle under. Well, let's just say that. He bears down, and he gets in trouble, and you think he's on the ready to fall off the cliff. There he gets a strikeout. He gets a big double play right here, and Piazza makes a fine play. Nice throw there. That got him out of a big jam. He got 2 double plays today. And here's the other one right here. He was in big trouble. And, you know, you got to tip your hat to him. And he could have won this ball game.
And right there he gets Gary Sheffield. So when he stayed in the strike zone. He obviously not involved in the win, except that he gave some quality innings to Art Howe. And he was able to get Jorge Posada right here to hit into a double play. So Jay So, who had a lot of fans here at the ballpark again, looked pretty good. He had to pitch out of some jams, but he did that. And the end result is right there. Moreno, the winning pitcher, Gordon, the loser. Looper looked terrific. Jay So saluting his fans, and the Mets beat the Yankees. And we'll be back. Well, that's the final. If you just tuned in, you missed a heck of a ball game. 6-5, the Mets on top of the Yankees. You see the winning pitcher, Moreno. The save goes to Looper, 16 on the year. And we'll be back right after this. Once again, the final score from Shea Stadium on MSG Network. Hope you enjoyed all the action. 6-5, the Mets on top of the Yankees. Of course, when you sweep the Yankees, you got to be elated. Art Howe met with the media just a few moments ago.
How big a sweep is
the whole weekend? It was a great weekend for us. Let's face it. It turned out the way we hoped it would turn out, especially after we won the first one. But you know, like I said, we won the first one last weekend and didn't get too much accomplished after that. So that's a great team over there, and they showed their mettle again today. They battled back into this game and eyeballed us, and there just was no leeway, and it was just fun to be able to keep answering. You know, Wiggy came up with the big home runs for us today and almost hit a third one earlier in the game too, so got enough outs when we had to.
Let's talk about all the pressure that Ty's been under, about all the alleged trade rumors and just how he's handling.
This is the way you handle it. You go out and you just keep playing great baseball, and you know, today, like I said, without him in the lineup, you know, we're talking about a losing effort.
But the fact that they kept coming back, does that make it more gratifying for you guys the way you won the games, the last 2 games?
Yeah, but we have to. You know, against that team, I said, you know, every guy in that lineup can hurt you with one swing of the bat, and it's just constant pressure the whole game. And I think we answered it pretty well this weekend. And I think our offense sent a message to everybody in baseball. Maybe we're starting to swing it.
What does it mean to this team?
Well, I mean, it's a great confidence booster, you know, builder or whatever you want to call it.
How big is the Yankees going into next season?
Well, the key is
The worst plays of the year. See if you remember these puppies. May 29th, Ray Langford hit a pop-up. This would hit the roof and land fair. Morgan Ensberg would then go grab it, and he would fire it a little high and outside. That allowed John Mabry to score. That's just the beginning. Then there's the May 30th Twins-Royals fiasco, and Sweeney popped it up. Dougie Mankiewicz, this is unbelievable. Had it, trying to fire it home. Oh, goodness, like he was shot. He hit Mike Sweeney in the back.
I hate to see that, especially.
Yeah, they doubled him up, and Blanco picked up the loose ball. But Sweeney didn't know what the heck was going on.
No, funny was the guy has a bad back.
No. Cesar Crespo made this. Yay! That's when Ken Harvey threw it in the face of Jason Grimsley.
Well, in Ken Harvey's defense, that's not his fault. That's a play of aggression. Both guys were doing their job, so that we can't blame Ken Harvey for that.
They're both still living. They're both okay. Dodgers, Red Sox, 2 outs in the ninth of this one. 2 outs in the 9th of this one.
I was there for the wind blew that ball about 40 feet.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
then what?
It wasn't quite as bad as it was.
That's
the way to blow a save right there. Almost a blow save for Keith Falk.
Yep. And the Ken Harvey incidents continued. Matt Stairs would throw home, but he would hit his own. That's a good one.
What's he doing?
He's watching the play.
He looks like he was praying.
He wants to see the play unfold.
Can we go on? We're done. Oh, God.
That's never happened to you?
No, come on. I mean, you watch the ball.
You've never watched to see the...
Oh, man. That's unbelievable.
Sweeney and Harvey both stung by that ball.
It's the slug theory. You can't throw them out at first.
All right, that's it. Worst plays of the year. We'll do the second half at the end of the year. See if we can get tears from the Crucker again. We'll return here, folks. Baseball tonight. We've seen the worst. Got to bring you the best. Cliff Floyd helped the Web Gems on a night that Eric Gagne's consecutive games with a save streak comes to an end. Web Gems not featuring Ken Harvey. Tim Raines, top of the second, junior against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He made a few great plays in this game. There to rob Ray Sanchez. Then he robs Jose Cruz Jr.
To be fair, there was a little bit of a circular route to get to that second one. But
Orioles did the damage, though, sweeping the Devil Rays. Daniel Cabrera, another good outing. Jim Edmonds in the 7th against the Reds. This is a full extension, good running catch by Edmonds. Fairly typical, but it's a tough play. It's a Web Gem. Cliff Floyd, bottom of the first, man on second and third. Crucker talked about it. Philly beat the Mets, but wasn't Floyd's undoing. Robs Mike Lieberthal. That saved a couple of runs. And then, real good running catch on David Bell. Height help there.
Well, you know, he's not worried about getting hurt, which is key for him.
Yankees rock the Tigers and Nate Robertson tonight. And Gary Sheffield. Nice play out there in right field. Jeff Conine on the top of the 8th. Rob Makoviak's done this to enough players, so turnabout fair play. Conine with a diving snag of what would have been a fair ball. Marlins ended up losing to the Pirates as the Pirates have now won 10 games in a row. Here, folks, balls that left the building as we touch them all. Astros and the Padres. Craig Biggio got things started. 38th career leadoff home run, been the only scoring in that game. Rangers take on the Indians. Texas is back warming up. No oil coming out of this one. Third straight game with a home run for Alfonso Soriano.
How pretty is that when he gets full extension?
Alex Rodriguez smacks this thing out. 365th career home run for A-Rod. That came off Robertson. Jan later threw it over A-Rod's head, and Jan was thrown out of the game. Sheffield on a pitch that easily could have been taken out to right. He yanks to left center. 393rd career home run for Sheffield. Same game. Bernie.
It's starting to get disappointing when you only have 1 or 2 Yankees a night on Touch 'em All.
The good news is we get to come back in an hour, Cruck, and we'll be over this disappointment and sadness. Braves in the Expos. Andrew homers to right. Ends 103 at bat, homerless drought. Cubs and the Brewers. Craig Counsell. Raise your arms if you're sure. He was. Ben Sheets was fabulous. Steve Finley did damage to the Diamondbacks early. That's not what any of the people that were there are going to remember tonight from this game. 7th season with at least 20 home runs. Richard Hidalgo also left the building for the New York Mets. For the 5th straight game, he's gone deep. The most important thing tonight, folks, though, that Peter and John has already talked about, is the fact that Eric Gagne saw his consecutive game streak with a save end at 84. We'll have much more on that in the next edition of Baseball Night at about 12:17, but I know I speak for everybody. Congratulations on a streak that probably will never be broken. Here comes SportsCenter.